even for me going to those bonds that have been highlighted there.
Ek dink nie dit is nodig om deur die hoofpunte te gaan van die wet nie.
Understanding that all people that are here are able to read at least.
Ons verstaan dat almal wat hier teenwoordig is kan lees.
But if you are unable to read, along the line you'll get what is it that is being said in the bill.
Indien u nie kan lees nie, gaan ek uitlig wat in die wet gesê word.
You know, we want to cruise going back to George. We want to cruise, not to be in a hurry, because Gauteng people were just surprised about the mountains, beautiful ones, the dams, the rivers, and all the stuff. So they would like to have a chance at least to move around slowly and cruise to George.
Gauteng mense was verstom deur die berge en die damme, so ons wil nie te haastig wees vandag nie.
Not underlining that at least we have to give you plenty chance to have your inputs.
Ons moet vir julle 'n goeie kans gee om julle insette te kom lewer.
That's why I'm not going to even summarize it, but you are supposed to have at least brought your submissions with you.
Ek gaan dit nie nou opsom nie, want julle het reeds julle insette saam met julle gebring hiernatoe vandag.
If you have anything that you think is sensitive, you can't speak through the mic with those things, the support staff is with us. You can just take your time and go to them.
Indien jy oor 'n sensitiewe saak wil praat en nie op die mikrofoon nie, kan jy na die ondersteuningspersoneel toe gaan en met hulle gesels.
And put whatever that you think you need to share with us, with them.
Wat ook al jy met ons wil deel, kan jy vir hulle gee.
Can I check whether do we have social development officials or social work from the department?
Het ons enige maatskaplike werkers in die gehoor?
Dankie hoor. How many are they? How can I see the hands?
Hoeveel is daar? Steek julle hande hoog op.
Dankie hoor. Then it's plenty. Then you have to please take notes of what is going to be said here.
Neem asseblief notas oor wat gesê gaan word
And
vandag.
get ready to explain some of things that needs clarification.
En wees gereed om bietjie meer duidelikheid te verskaf oor
Thank you
vandag se
very much.
sake.
Let me
Baie
outline
dankie.
the process.
Ek gaan die proses uiteensit.
The middle chairs, the ones that are red here in the middle,
Die rooi stoele hier in die middel.
I will identify hands, those that would like to have inputs on these clauses that are indicated and tabulated in the document.
Ek sal hande kies en identifiseer om in die ry te kom sit.
You will have to come in front or in the middle and sit straight with the mic.
Julle sal in die middel sit en dan kry julle julle beurt om by die mikrofoon te staan.
If your submission is too long
Indien jou inset te lank is
and you think you are not going to be able to read it, the whole document,
en jy dink jy sal dit nie kan voorlees hiervoor nie,
again we are requesting those ones to take the submission to the table.
versoek ons weer eens dat julle dit daar na die tafel toe neem.
Any language is free. Abathethayo bangathetha. Are they abathethayo apha? Khona othethayo? Nguwe wedwa only Jwi. Niyathetha nonke.
Enige tale is welkom.
Sure, thank you very much. You can thetha, you can prat, you can talk Tswane and Sesotho, you can talk any language that you feel free, you would like to express yourself.
Jy kan regtig in enige taal praat wat jy gemaklik voel om jouself uit te druk in.
Oh, almal Afrikaans. Okay, all right, it's fine. Julle moet praat if you want to. Masivumelane ke, let me identify the hands for them to come
Kan ek die hande sien asseblief
to the mic.
van die wat wil kom na die mikrofoon toe?
Ibhili mosi niyayibona ithetha ngantoni? Ithetha ngabantwana ekufuneka bekhulisiwe by their parents, and also if fathers needs to be involved in khulising the kids. Siyayibona ukuthi ithetha nge-adoption, siyayibona ukuthi ithetha nge-child marriages, which is rife here, the human trafficking.
And parents, fathers should also be involved, and we can see that this ineffectiveness is rife in the area around you.
I know the buses that are coming from the Eastern Cape are passing by the Fort Beaufort and they are abducting kids small as 10 years and bringing them here in Fort Beaufort. In this garage, there's a garage up, a truck in, something like that.
Daar is mense wat kinders ontvoer onder 10 en hulle hierheen bring.
Yeah, they are doing that thing. So the bill is against this thing of child marriages. There are processes that needs to be followed. Those that abathethayo bayayazi ukuthi kuyahlawulwa
Die wet is teen kinderhuwelike, daar is prosesse wat gevolg moet word.
before ube ngutata walo mntwana.
Before being the father of this child, you must contribute and pay for them.
Pay what, tata? Pay what?
You must pay also for the damages that you have occurred in.
Okay. Okay, the damages, you call it the damages. And hlawula in our language. And lobola in sometimes. No one, only one. Oh, it means we will be finished by 11 o'clock. Thank you very much for that. Tata, over to you.
Is daar
Abantu
nie
Malaba,
een,
they
gaan ons
know
11
the
uur
bill.
klaar wees.
People from here are just fine with the bill.
Is mense hier heeltemal gemaklik met die wet.
The other thing that I have forgotten to tell you is that when you are speaking in the mic, put your face powder, put your rosy cheeks, and smile, because it is covered by the media people through Twitter, through YouTube, through Instagram. You can phone your children and tell them they must open up YouTube. You will see yourself smiling there.
Ek het
So if you
vergeet
are
om te
angry
noem.
and ugly, your
Maar
kids
al julle
won't
maskers
know.
af as julle voorpraat, julle gaan op YouTube wees en op die media. Sê vir jou kinders om te kyk.
And if you want to come out of the TV, because this meeting is being captured in 408 channel. Do you listen to 408? You don't.
Hierdie vergadering word
From
opgeneem
to-
op kanaal 408 ook.
From today, you must look and watch 408 channel. You will see yourselves there.
Kyk
And
kanaal
with
408, jy gaan jouself daar sien.
all the parliamentary procedures and meetings are in fact, they are there. So even this one, it's going to be there. Be smart.
Al die parlementêre prosesse is op daardie
It will be
kanaal.
your first time to be in the TV. Come and talk.
Kom, wees op televisie.
Okay. Okay. Stelte asseblief.
Quiet please.
Tat.
Thank you, Chair.
Introduce yourself.
Stel asseblief jouself voor.
And when you finish, you must tell whether you support or reject the bill.
Jy moet altyd noem of jy die wet ondersteun of verwerp.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and let me greet the government officials, all stakeholders in the room. You are welcome. I'm just standing here to welcome each and every one of you as the executive mayor
Oh.
of Beaufort West.
Oh, let's clap for one. Hooray!
My apologies because of I'm at a workshop, so I thought I just have to come
And
and
Mayor will
welcome.
never be late. She has been delayed somewhere.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I just want also to take this opportunity to encourage the community, in fact, communities from Gwamandla Nkosi, Hillside, different communities. Feel free to express yourself.
Tata,
There is.
Mayor, you have never been in a TV, I can see. Face straight because the cameras are this side. So don't face to them, they just hear you.
I'm used to looking at
And
my community
smile,
members.
Mayor. Take away this mask. It's like you have a bandage on your neck.
Thank you, thank you. I just want to encourage the community members to, there is nothing like a stupid question. If they've got questions, let them rather ask questions for clarity. You know, where they don't understand, they'll get more information. So I just encourage them to engage. Also, I'm glad to see translators and so forth. You know, we are used just to be addressed in English. Then when you get out of the building, we ask, "Ebeti ni kanene?" You know, people don't understand. So I'm glad at least they are accommodated. And
Ek is
for
baie
that,
bly dat mense geakkommodeer is vandag.
I'm very glad for that. You're welcome in the Karoo. You know, there are biltongs and so forth. So when you are finished here, I believe you'll also support
Hier is
our
lekker
business
biltong.
people.
So ek glo as hierdie verrigtinge klaar is, kan julle lekker verfris met biltong hier.
Also, also speaking as a father, you know, encouraging other parents also to speak on the behalf of the kids. Those who can speak for themselves, we are representing them here.
As 'n vader bemoedig ek graag al die ander ouers om ook op te praat en dan ook die stem te wees vir die kinders wat nie 'n stem het nie.
So with those few words, I want to say thank you and let this be a fruitful engagement.
Met hierdie paar woorde staan ek terug en mag hierdie 'n vrugtevolle interaksie wees.
I thank you.
Baie dankie.
Thank you very much. Baie dankie. Yeah, the mayor has forgotten to tell you that we must do away and stop this thing of these buses and trucks that are carrying our kids from Eastern Cape and abuse them here. As the community, we must assist one another to stop that.
As 'n gemeenskap moet ons mekaar uithelp.
take a number, a registration, time of that trucker, and then report it to the police.
Ons moet wakker wees van hierdie dinge wat aangaan en die registrasienommers afneem en dit dan rapporteer aan die polisie.
We are really serious about it. It's bad.
Dit is regtig ernstig. Dit is sleg.
Dankie meneer. Over to you.
Oor aan u.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very nervous because this is my first time on TV, so yes.
Goeiemôre almal. Ek is 'n bietjie angstig. Dit is my heel eerste keer op televisie.
My name is Charlotte Pankhurst. I'm the social worker and victim empowerment program manager at Moloshongololo. I'm here representing Mr. Patrick Solomons, who's our director. Unfortunately, he has had a COVID exposure and has needed to self-isolate.
Ek is 'n maatskaplike werker en ek is vanoggend alleen hier. Ongelukkig kan my kollega my vanoggend nie bystaan nie.
So Moloshongololo is a registered non-profit, non-governmental children's rights organization, and we're grateful for this opportunity to present our views on the children's bill.
Ons organisasie is geregistreer en ons is baie dankbaar vir hierdie geleentheid om ons voorleggings ook hier te bring.
We do accept the children's bill, however, we do have reservations with regards to our acceptance, particularly
Ons aanvaar hierdie wysigings, maar ook nie heeltemal nie.
Particularly on two broader issues and then a few of the clauses that I have outlined for us.
So die heel hierdie oorgrootte kwessies en dan ook 'n paar klousules binne die dokument aanvaar ons nie.
Our biggest concern is with regards to child participation. I don't feel like a lot of children have been informed about this process. The Children's Act, as well as the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, does put reservations in for child participation in terms of legislation formulation.
Ons grootste kwessie is die interaksie van kinders en ons weet dat meeste kinders nie weet dat hulle ook kan deelneem in hierdie proses nie.
According to the Children's Act, children are allowed to participate in any actions that do affect them, and the Children's Bill, amended bill, will obviously have huge effects upon the children.
Volgens die kinderwet kan kinders deelneem aan hierdie proses.
I did bring a child with me today, but I was informed that she would need to have a signed consent form by her legal guardian, which I was not aware of, and I don't think it was put into place in the invitation that I was sent. So I'm just concerned about this, and I would like to know if Parliament does have a process in place for child participation in the future before this bill is enacted into law.
Ek wil weet of die parlement enige iets in aksie het sodat 'n kind ook kan kom en ook kan iets bysê of byvoeg in die toekoms.
Okay, so then my second broader issue is related to Clause 3 as well, and that's just regarding to the child's right of privacy and confidentiality. We have found that many service providers, specifically clinics in the rural areas such as Beaufort West, do not respect the right to privacy and confidentiality. There's often kind of skinner stories which get brought up. So a lot of times the information, for instance, if a child goes for a TOP, will come back to the caregiver of the child, which would then have ramifications upon the child.
Die tweede kwessie wat ek graag wil aanraak kom uit klousule 3 uit wat gaan oor die beskerming van die kind as ook die kind se privaatheid en dit word tans nie nagekom nie.
Okay, so then our reservations in terms of specific clauses, firstly it's with regards to clause 6, which talks about female genital mutilation and marriages of underage children.
So dan kyk ons dan ook nou na klousule 6 wat praat oor die geslagsverminking in ooreenstemming en ook die kinderhuwelike.
Our main issue is with regards to the discrepancy between boys and girls. So the definition states that the procedure is for non-medical reasons. However, boys traditionally are also mainly circumcised for non-medical reasons, such as tradition and cultural and religious reasons. While circumcision of girls are less common, it still happens in South Africa according to various media and research reports.
Die probleem wat ons mee het is die verminking van kinders en dan ook dat sommige van hierdie rituele vir kulturele redes gebruik word en dit is nie so groot meer vir dogters nie, maar ons weet vir by seuns is dit baie groot.
So in terms of female genital mutilation, invariably it is going to be harmful towards the child's health.
Hierdie geslagsverminking is baie sleg en het 'n baie slegte invloed op die kind se gesondheid.
Whilst male genital mutilation is referred to mainly as botched circumcisions, which does happen less rarely nowadays, but it still does happen. So we are unclear of whether this definition includes the circumcision of male children or if it's just for female children.
Ons is onseker of hierdie definisie wat weer gegee word nou verwys na beide meisies en seuns wat nou besny word.
Okay, then our second comment is with regards to clause 24, the comment regarding separated migrant children.
Ek wil dan nou ook kommentaar lewer oor klousule 24.
So Molashongalolo is very concerned about this definition as presented, as in most cases foreign children are separated from parents and caregivers or those who have primary custody over the children who are migrants and in the process of migrating. When they are separated from their parents, they then become separated or unaccompanied children. To refer to these children as separated migrant children suggests that they are still in the process of migration. We would therefore like to consider separate foreign children as the definition. This will describe
Ons
a child.
organisasie wil dus graag hê dat daar 'n nuwe 'n definisie gegee moet word binne hierdie klousule wat nou klousule 24 beteken.
This will describe a child regardless of their status of migration, whether they are a migrant, refugee, asylum seeker or a stowaway and so forth.
Dus moet daar 'n meer definitiewe en spesifieke begrip gegee word.
Then next we are going to talk about clause 3. I've already mentioned clause 3, which is the comment on the child's right to
Ek gaan nou weer
privacy.
praat oor klousule 3.
This is a new clause that will be added into the Children's Bill, so as such it doesn't exist in the current Children's Act.
So hierdie is 'n nuwe een wat nou gaan ingerig word binne die wysigingswet en dit is tans nie in nie.
Therefore, we would like to welcome the insertion of this very important provision. Children's rights to privacy is a fundamental right. It is a right that stands on its own, as well as supporting the attainment of important rights of the child, like the rights to access of information, freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, the right to publicly participate, the right to dignity, equality, and the right to non-discrimination.
Ons verwelkom dus hierdie inplasing van hierdie wet omdat dit 'n baie goeie impak op die kind sal hê in alle areas.
The Constitution of South Africa guarantees these rights for children, and the South African Child and Related Law has provisions for the child's rights to privacy to be respected, protected, and, therefore the child's rights to privacy refers to the fact that the child should not be subjected to any interference with his or her privacy, family, home, status, correspondence, public, in social media, and in traditional media.
Die kind se privaatheid is baie belangrik en daar moet dus baie groot ag gelê word op die privaatheid van die kind se privaatheid en hierdie reg moet dus nie geskend word nie.
Molashongalolo suggests that a definition on the child's right to privacy should be inserted before the proposed amendment.
Ons organisasie stel voor dat hierdie definisie ingeplaas word voordat daar verder gepraat word binne die klousule.
Then finally, we move to clause 82, which is our comment on the Child Protection Register.
Ons beweeg dan nou na klousule 82.
Part B of the register is to have a record of persons who was convicted of a crime against a child and who are found to be unsuitable to work with children, and to use the information in the register in order to protect children in general against abuse of these persons. And we would like to welcome the proposed amendment to the register.
Ons ondersteun en verwelkom die veranderinge wat binne hierdie klousule ingevoeg word.
I thank you everybody for listening and giving me the time to talk, and I look forward to hearing what comes of this process. Yes.
Baie dankie vir almal wat na my geluister het en ek sien uit om die uitkoms van hierdie proses te sien.
Dankie hoor.
Baie dankie.
Baie dankie.
Goeiemôre aan almal.
Good morning everyone.
Al die Beaufort Westers.
Everyone from Beaufort West.
Ek gaan nou vanoggend niks sê oor die wetsontwerpe, maar ek is eintlik vanoggend hier. O ja, ek is Arila Lou van die ICDP Beaufort West.
I'm Ariel Lou from HEDP in Beaufort West, and I'm not going to touch as much on the bill, but
Maar ek is hier eintlik oor 'n noodkreet.
I'm
Wat ek
here to
glo,
plead with you.
nie net van my nie, maar van baie van Beaufort Westers vir wie dit na in die hart lê. Die eerste een
And
is
this please not just my own, but so many others here in Beaufort West as well.
Die eerste een is die straatkinders. Dit neem net toe, dit as geen afname in die getalle van ons straatkinders nie.
Our first concern is the children who live in street. There's an increase on the children that stays on street.
Die tweede ene wat soortgelyk is kinders wat in sekere woongebiede van huis tot huis beweeg om te bedel, maar hulle word begelei deur volwasse persone wat gewoonlik van afstande staan om natuurlik die kinders na huise te stuur, en van die kinders is sonder volwasse begeleiding wat vir hulle in gevaar kan sit deur perpetrators of mense, omdat dit baie keer stil areas is. So dis makliker vir mense om die kinders in te lok in hulle huise en mos nou vir hulle aan snaakse goed bloot
Our
te stel.
second concern is that there's children that move from house to ask for money. So usually there are a guardian or someone with accompanying them when they're going from house to house, but this isn't always the case. And in cases where the child is unaccompanied going from house to ask for money, this child can be in danger, and there's many perpetrators out there. So this is really a very big concern for us.
En dan, daar's soveel ander, maar ek gaan net op die eerste konsentreer, die laaste een wat vir
There's so
my
many others, but I'm just going to concentrate on this one.
regtig so na in die hart lê is. Ek was van 2006 tot en met 2019 was ek by 'n koshuis, was ek werksaam by 'n koshuis. So ek was aan
The following is very
verskillende
dear to my heart, and from the period of 2006 to 2019, I stayed in a hostel.
So ek het met verskillende kinders vanaf die ouderdom van 12 tot en met 18 en ouer gewerk. En baie van hy kinders, groot getalle van hy kinders was aan geweldige traumatiese ervarings blootgestel. Of
I
het nou
worked
vir-
with a lot of different children from the ages of 12, and a lot of these children has experienced a lot of traumatic experiences in their life.
abuse in al die vorms.
They
Van sexual,
experience
emotional, alle
abuse
vorms.
in different forms.
En my concern oor die jare heen is a lack of support in die vorm van berading, berading. Ons mense het berading. Daar's kinders wat uit sulke erge traumatiese ervarings, en dan skrik jy vir hoe boeglang om te hoor 'n kind loop vir 4, 5 jaar met sulke verskriklike goed in hulle om, en daar was nooit berading nie.
A
Sake
big
was
concern for us
aangemeld.
is that these children that is exposed to all of this abuse have no one to talk to. So there is a lack of counseling. So there's children that even goes 4 or 5 years walking with these traumatic experiences, yet there is no counseling. So this is a lack that we are currently facing.
So ek roep vanoggend, ek doen 'n beroep vanoggend op die government om regtig in te gryp, en ek glo, ek praat nie net vir Beaufort West nie, maar ek praat vir die hele Karoo en vir ander plekke waar ons kinders, die saak was geluister, daar's closure gekry, maar ons kinders loop met seer tot en met hulle eendag doodgaan. So my uitroep is
I
vanoggend
plead
om
for you to
regtig
please
te
help
help.
us. And this is a cry not just from Beaufort West, but from the whole Karoo.
So dit is my uitroep vanoggend. Baie dankie.
And this is all that I have to say. Thank you very
Dankie, hoor.
much.
Goeiemôre almal.
Good morning, everyone.
My naam is Enrico Boysen en ek is van Nelspoort. Ek verteenwoordig die Nelspoort Agency for Sustainable Development.
Good morning, my name. Sorry, can you please repeat your name?
My name is Enrico Boysen.
My name is Elrico Boysen, and I am representing an organization in Nelspruit.
Nelspoort.
Nelspruit.
Nelspoort is too far. Ek wil regtig baie dankie sê vir die paneel, die nasionale parlement. Welkom in die Karoo, Beaufort Wes. Al moet ons altyd maar Beaufort toe kom, ek twyfel daar gaan 'n dag wees wanneer ons ooit die parlement in Nelspoort gaan sien.
I would like to take time of this opportunity to just thank the Parliament for coming all the way to Beaufort West. It's not often that we have the opportunity to have you guys here in the Karoo with us. And I don't think that the Parliament would come to Nelspruit, so that's why I'm here, and I'm very glad for this opportunity.
Ja, ons wil in beginsel die bil ondersteun.
In principle, we support this bill.
Maar ons sukkel egter om te sien dat die bil in sy huidige vorm voorsiening maak vir die sentraal Karoo streek, spesifiek Nelspoort.
In the current form, this bill doesn't really support Nelspruit, especially in the Karoo, the central Karoo area.
Dat die amptenare en die staatsdiens wat verantwoordbaar is vir die versorging en beskerming van kinders in die sentraal Karoo spesifiek en Nelspoort.
There's especially a lack when it comes to the officials that's supposed to be here when it comes to the protection of the children in the central Karoo.
Die amptenare en die staatsdepartemente verantwoordbaar.
There's a lack of all the officials that's supposed to be here.
No, I don't have a problem with the officials. My concern, the concern I want to raise is there is not support and empowerment to the officials, to the state departments responsible for protecting the children in the central Karoo, more specific to the Nelspoort area. That is a great concern.
Die kwessie wat ek graag wil uitlig is dat daar nie baie ondersteuning is vir die offisiële hier by ons om dan nou hulle werk te kan doen deur die kinders hier te beskerm nie.
Spesifiek in Nelspoort.
Especially in Nelspruit.
So ek gaan baie kort wees. Ek wil net vir die parlement vra wat vandag hier is.
So I'm going to be very short, and this is what I'm going to ask the Parliament in front of me.
Dat die nasionale parlement asseblief die Suid-Afrikaanse polisiediens moet finansiëel ondersteun in die Weskaap of nasionaal.
So I'm asking the National Party to please support the SAPs here in terms of funding. This is something that we really need.
Not only in Beaufort West, on a national level and a provincial level.
Not only nie net in Beaufort West nie, maar op nasionale en provinsiale vlak ook.
Daar is forensiese laboratoriums. En ek dink dit was publiek gemaak dat daar 'n agterstand is van resultate.
There is forensic labs here, but there is a backlog currently. Daar's
ouers, daar's slagoffers in Nelspoort en ek glo in die sentraal Karoo wat tot hierdie uur toe vir resultate wag oor hulle families of hulle kinders in die geval wat vermoor is. Ek praat van meer as 5 jaar. Die staatsdiens kan niks omtrent dit doen nie. Die staat sê daar's 'n agterstand, maar die staat sê nie wat gaan hulle doen om die agterstand uit te wis nie.
The backlog is very huge, to the point where people are waiting 4 to 5 years to hear from results of murders, and there's a lot of victims that just hear, and we aren't sure what the state is going to do about it.
So ek vra vir die parlement
So I'm asking the parliament,
uit my hart uit,
from
as
the
'n
bottom of my
individu
heart,
en 'n aktivis wat met gemeenskappe en met kinders werk,
as both an individual and an activist,
oorweeg asseblief en prioritiseer befondsing vir die Suid-Afrikaanse Polisiediens om meer forensiese laboratoriums te bou. Dit is nie aanvaarbaar dat
consider and prioritize the funding that needs to go into the building of the forensic labs here.
dit is nie aanvaarbaar dat ons sit met 'n spogstaat, die beste of die land dat die progressiefste konstitusie wat regte beskerm, maar dan sit jy met die staatsdiens wat sukkel vir meer as 5 jaar om perpetrators na vore te bring. Ek moet sê vir die
It's a real
parlement,
pity that we have a parliament and a constitution that is flourishing, yet in this, both of these, the state is still struggling in this area.
ek moet vir die parlement sê, is hartseer om te sien wanneer ouers elke keer na jou toe kom en hulle huil. Hulle is afhanklik van jou as aktivis wat met die regering kan praat en vra, nou wanneer vang hulle my kind se moordenaar?
It's very sad to see people in the community coming to me and asking me what is the result and when will they bring the results.
So dankie dat die parlement die is. Ek hoop dat daar gaan geprioritiseer word. Prioritize funding.
Thank you for being here, and as an activist I'm able to stand in the gap for those, and so I'm asking you to please prioritize funding.
Ek wens die parlement kon die geld wat hulle gisteraand aangewys het op die TV, wat vermors is, dat hy geld gevat word, of kry hy mense wat hy geld mors in die staatsdiens, laat hulle hy geld terugbetaal, laat hulle labs bou, laat hierdie storie einde kan kry, is hartseer.
I just wish the wasted money in our country could be used here to build the forensic labs and all the other stuff that's also needed here.
So baie dankie parlement.
Thank you so much, Parliament.
Ek noot ook dat julle in 16 days Beaufort West toe gekom het.
I also take note that in 16 days you came to Beaufort West.
Just want to mention this last thing.
Ek wil die volgende noem.
Even though the issue is on the children,
Alhoewel die kwessie meer oor die kinders gaan,
maar die vroue wat mishandel word, die GBE is 'n serious matter. Vroumense,
is die vroue mishandel ook 'n baie groot kwessie.
Vroumense is bang vir hulle partners. Hulle is bereid dat die partners met hulle maak net wat hulle wil.
Vroue leef in vrees vir hul metgeselle.
Want as die vrou uitgaan by die huis, dan moet sy polisiestasie toe gaan, maar waartoe moet sy terugkom? Daar is
So the women are very scared of their partners, and they are scared of where are they going, and if they go out of their house they need to go to the police station.
daar is nie meer support center by die polisie. Waartoe moet die vrou
There
gaan?
isn't even a support center at the police, so where does these women go to then?
So sy gee hoop op.
These women don't have any hope.
Ek hoop nie oor 'n jaar of 2 dan moet ons by dieselfde paneel kom sit en dieselfde goed vra of dieselfde goed noem nie.
I don't
Honestly.
want it to be a case where in over a year's time we come here again repeating the stuff that we are saying here today.
Ek glo ook is 'n baie duur exercise. Ons kan nie geld mors nie.
I believe that this also is a very expensive procession, so I also don't want to waste money.
Ons sit met 'n jobs crisis. Ek noem die goed om die erns van die saak. Ek kom uit Nelspoort uit om die erns van die saak by die parlement te lig.
I came all the way from Nelspruit to bring and raise awareness of this case.
Ek sal bly is as die parlement 'n kar kan vat in Kaapstad en stuur die mense Karoo toe of wherever en gaan verduidelik en sê vir die gemeenskappe, luister, die parlement was in julle gebied, die parlement is besig met die goed wat hulle gesê het hulle gaan doen. Moenie kom en die mense vergeet nie.
I would
Honestly.
like if the parliament would take cars and just come into the Karoo, drive into the communities and to assure the people that, hey, we are busy and the things that is in process right now.
Parlement, baie dankie. En laaste, moenie 'n beem vat in die mense stuur. Vat die gewone ekonomiese kar, laat die
Thank you,
mense
Parliament.
hier uitkom. Baie, baie dankie.
And don't take a BM when you come, take a normal car when you come to our communities.
Uthi ningo last week you just said if you come here, don't come with a BMW, just come with a normal car for the protection.
My first time. Good morning. My name is Ronald Hutton from the
Goeiemôre, my naam is
ACDP.
Ronel Hatting
From the ACDP.
van die ACDP.
I found that working in the community, the youth and the little children, there's no role models for them.
Ek het bevind deur in die gemeenskap te werk dat daar geen rolmodelle vir die jeug is nie.
They have no positive things going on. There's nothing happening for them.
Daar's geen positiewe dinge wat vir hulle gebeur nie.
Okay, I'm sorry, ne? Did the gentleman supported the... Okay, sure.
Okay, so they're not being embraced as the youth, and they're not being supported.
Die jeug word nie geondersteun nie.
So you find that this in turn affects their safety and their security because they're out in the streets.
Dit affekteer hulle veiligheid en sekuriteit want hulle is op straat.
And because of poverty, you find that the youth, they sell their bodies.
Weens armoede verkoop hulle hulle liggame
And this escalates the fact that our children are being abducted.
dit verhoog die kanse dat die kinders ontvoer word.
And then they fall into drinking and excessive sex and crime.
Dan draai hulle na drank en na seks en na geweld.
Because this is the order of the day. This is what they know.
Dit is wat hulle ken.
So we need programs, I believe. We need job creation.
Ons het programme nodig, ons het werkskepping nodig.
We need more positive role models.
Ons het meer positiewe rolmodelle nodig.
Support as well as financial.
Ondersteuning finansiëel ook.
And then we need things that the youth can partake in that will stimulate their minds.
Ons het programme nodig waaraan die jeug kan deelneem wat hulle sal stimuleer.
And also challenge them to want to do better and grow.
Ons wil hulle laat uitdaag om te groei en beter te doen.
And in turn, they become those role models in the future that we seek for them today.
Hulle sal dan die rolmodelle word wat ons vir hulle wou gehad het vandag.
I thank you.
Ek dank u.
Dankie hoor. Are there any other hands?
Is daar enige ander hande?
You can come. I don't see any other hands.
Ek sien nie enige hande nie. Is daar nog iemand?
Is that all?
Is dit almal?
Dankie hoor. Continue. By 12 o'clock we'll be out of this hall.
Gaan gerus voort.
All right, good day everyone.
Goeiemôre almal.
My name is Thandabantu Ndamase.
My naam is Thandabantu Ndamase.
I am a social work supervisor from education.
Ek is 'n maatskaplike werker
And
van onderwys.
yes, I've got a few things that I would just like to speak to regarding the bill.
Daar's 'n paar goed wat ek wil noem oor die wet.
First of all, what I appreciate this opportunity.
Ek waardeer hierdie geleentheid.
Yes, let me first start one of the things that one of the gentlemen that was speaking here.
Iemand het reeds voorheen genoem.
It's regarding the budgetary or the financial aspect.
Die finansiële aspek.
If the bill can be more robust and specific
As die wet bietjie meer uitgebrei en spesifiek kan wees
in terms of the responsibility of the state on that regard as well as other stakeholders.
in terme van die staat se verantwoordelikhede en ander mense betrokke by die staat.
Yeah, because sometimes you find that yes, the what can I say, the constitution or the policy is there,
Soms is die grondwet of die beleid daar,
but the limitation becomes money.
maar die beperkings word geld.
Then we are all stuck.
Dan sit ons almal vas.
My suggestion, if the bill can speak stronger on who is responsible for funding
My voorstel is dat
these
die wet meer
amendments that will be
spesifiek moet
decided
wees oor wie verantwoordelik vir befondsing is.
So that must be specific.
Dit moet spesifiek wees.
We are sitting with issues at times in schools.
Ons sit met kwessies in die skole,
I think it's close to here.
naby aan hier.
Where it talks about accessibility and inclusivity.
Dit praat oor toeganklikheid en inklusiwiteit.
And there again, there is a capacity challenge that we are experiencing.
Daar is 'n kapasiteitsprobleem wat ons ervaar.
That is leaning more on finances again.
Dit gaan meer oor finansies.
When one looks at the number of children that await to be placed in some of the schools of skills and so on,
As 'n mens kyk na die kinders wat wag om geplaas te word by die skole,
some of these kids that are said to be children on the street,
sommige van hierdie skole van die kinders op straat,
it's due to academic frustration
dis weens akademiese frustrasie.
that are not robustly addressed
Dit word nie goed aangespreek nie,
due to financial challenges in many circumstances.
weens finansiële uitdagings in baie omstandighede.
So my request, the bill need to be very strong on that and specific.
My voorstel is dat die wet baie sterk daarop moet fokus en spesifiek wees.
All right, and then the other issue I would like to speak to,
Die ander kwessie waaroor ek wil praat,
yeah, is that the bill also need to focus
die wet moet ook fokus.
on, you know, there's just, let me just give this scenario.
Ek gee gou 'n scenario.
There was a situation in this village,
Daar was 'n kwessie hier by ons
and they were seeing children that were streaming down. They were just flowing with the stream down the river.
Die kinders was in die rivier.
And as they were going with the river, people could see that hey, the kids are flowing down the river and they tried to rescue them.
Die kinders het by die rivier afgegaan en mense het hulle probeer red.
Until someone said, can I go a bit upstream to go and check where is the problem coming from?
Totdat iemand gesê het, kom ons gaan boontoe en kyk waar begin die probleem.
Many aspects of the bill are addressing, what can I say, they are more, what can I say, they are more reactional.
Baie aspekte van die wet gaan meer oor die reaksie.
But how much is the bill emphasizing on the preventative aspect?
Maar hoe goed beklemtoon die wet die voorhoedende aspek?
In terms of putting more resources like on DSD, for example, and other child protection organizations.
Daar moet meer hulpbronne wees vir DSD en ander kinderbeskermingsverenigings.
In terms of preserving the family,
Ons moet die familie preserveer.
where that can be a strong focus.
Dit moet 'n sterk fokus wees.
We can't always wait for when things go wrong
Ons kan nie altyd wag tot dinge verkeerd gaan nie.
and then come to say, now what do we do with this?
En dan kom en nou is ons met die gebakte pere, nou wat nou?
So that is one aspect I wanted just to speak to.
Dit is die aspek waarop ek wou fokus.
And then the other aspect will be to do with the parental responsibility.
Die ander gaan oor die ouers se verantwoordelikhede.
Where you find that at times you know, we've got cultural and religious beliefs.
Ons bevind dat daar kulturele en geloofs-oortuigings is.
I'm just hoping it would not be left in the hands of, what can I say, those institutions to decide what works best for them.
Ek hoop nie die inrigtings is die wat besluit wat die beste vir hulle
There
is
should
nie.
be more specific and direct
Daar moet
regulations
spesifieke en direkte regulasies wees
in the best interest of the children.
vir die beste belange van die kind.
Yeah, I think I'll end that now. Thank you so much.
Ek gaan daar eindig. Baie
Do you
dankie.
support the bill? Or?
Ondersteun u die wet?
Yes, but these things must be,
Ja, maar die dinge wat ek genoem het moet aangespreek
must
word.
speak to these things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Over to you, Dave.
I do, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very short, yeah? Okay, I'm better now. Yeah, thank you. Greeting to the officials that we have today. My name is Luyanda Gyasophu. I'm an educator. I'm a teacher from HM Hlikitla Primary. Firstly, I fully support this memorandum, this bill. I fully support it before I coalesce with the points. First of all, when something is about the interest of a child, then my adrenaline starts secreting happiness. I was just looking at the clause here. There's clause number 2. My colleague just spoke about this. Abantwana bethu. It's so bad that you find them in the street because of disabilities, because of accommodating even
not
in our
accommodated.
society, accommodating even in our schools.
Kuthe cwaka nasezikolweni zethu
You
abantu-
find that the services in school are not accommodated. For example, umntana ohamba nge-wheelchair. There is no places for abantwana abahamba nge-wheelchair.
There are no
Community
places
start
for the
discriminating
children.
them. Our society.
Sukhwaza tata.
Yes.
Uyenyuka udumo.
Oh, ngenyuka ne.
Yenyuka.
Hayi, ndawuhla ke ngoku.
Kela ngezantsi mkha.
Oh, yabona wena? Ndiyakuthanda kanjani. Yes, the problem
go
that we
down.
have, our society is not inclusive to the children that have disabilities.
Uluntu lethu alubandakanyekanga kwizimfuno zabantwana.
Yes, we have a lot of dropping out. And that is a very serious concern. My voice is loud. This mic, try to minimize it.
Yes.
My voice, I project when I'm speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the TV will take you right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The drop actually of learners. I'm not going to look at the statistics of the dropping out of learners because I don't have for Beaufort West. But I will speak based on my observation about what is happening into our community. Our children, I think, I'm flowing, sir, I'm flowing. So our children, I think there's a lot of frustration.
Volume.
Ndiyacinga khona okuninzi ukucinezeleka okukhoyo kubo.
Okay, everyone will be inclusive. I will make sure they all benefit. Thank you, sir. Okay. The dropping out is very high. And it's a very serious concern to the teachers, even to the parents.
Otitshala yabachaphazela nabazali kakhulu lo.
I don't know, actually, when I speak to the parents, there's lack of that parent involvement.
Andazi xa ndithetha nabazali kubonakala ukuba badinga uluntu lokuba obo buzali kufuneke babonakalisile.
How do I know that there's a lack of parent involvement?
Ndawuyiqonda kanjani uba iyadingeka imfanelo efanelekileyo yobonisa ubuzali.
Sometimes at our school, I will speak based on my knowledge. At our school, we have children that are being raped.
Ulwazi lwethu ezikolweni zethu sinabantwana abaye badlwengulwe.
They have been raped not only by strangers, by the people inside the household.
Bayadlwengula abadlwengulwa zindwendwe okanye abantu phaa phandle badlwengulwa ngabantu abalapha phakathi endlini kunye nabo.
Then they will use a method abazawuthi mhlambi sithetha ubuntu, sithetha isintu.
Basebenzisa intetho, they would then use the method of that we are doing humanity.
And forgetting that stigma will carry on with that child.
Balibale okokuba lo mqaleko okanye lo nzima okanye kokubetheka kuyawuqhubekeka ithuba elide kuhamba nomntwana.
Going to the social development.
Xa sisiya kweli sebe lijonge ezasekuhlaleni.
There is actually information that you don't get from the parent that you're supposed to get.
Kukho ulwazi ongalufumaniyo kumzali omele kukuba ulifumane.
I'm repeating that. If you are thinking higher greatly, you will get me. There is information that is inside the parents that you're supposed to get, but you don't get. At the end, it affecting the child.
Ulwazi olukumzali omele kukulifumana kulifumani ekupheleni loo nto ichaphazele inginga kuhlalwa kuyo.
Going back again to what I said, there are children that will come. Some of the children will go to the teacher whom they trust.
Njengoba sele nditshilo kukabantwana bawusa abanye abantwana bawuya kutitshala abamthembileyo.
Athi umntana ekhaya kwi-tavern, I've been raped so many times.
The child would say there's a tavern at home ndidlwengule izihlandlo ezininzi kanga.
Then my question would be, where are the parents or where are the guardians?
Ushiye kumbuzo kum othi upumzali okanye baphi abagadana nomntwana.
In conclusion,
Xa ndishwankathela
I will say that there are platforms for fundings.
ndiyakuthi zikhona indawo ezininzi ezixhasayo
There are platforms that we can access to get information.
kulapho singaya khona sifune ulwazi khona uze silufumane.
Sometimes parents,
Amanye amaxesha abazali
we need actually to go to those toll-free numbers.
kufanele uba siye kwezi nombolo ezikhoyo ezinikweyo zikamahala.
And those toll-free numbers, they work. Immediately you report something, they're going to respond and they're going to take an action.
Ezo nombala zikamahala ziyasebenza uba uyakhalaza ngokuqinisekileyo ziyawuba nengqwalasela yokuqwalasela umcimbi lowo.
My point will be conclusion by saying that parents, let's stop keeping the information inside and solve them by saying that we are doing Ubuntu as a family. That child does not understand the system
Ubuntu. Senze Ubuntu. Abantu bayalahleka bayiqondi eligama lithi Ubuntu intsingiselo kanye lithetha ntoni na.
I think Ubuntu is to do right thing to the child.
Ndiyaqonda uba ubuntu kukwenza oko kufanelekileyo emntwaneni.
I thank you. I fully support the bill. Thank you so much.
Ndiyanibukela ndixhasa ngokupheleleyo enkosi kakhulu.
Hey, when now you have to go in one of these radio stations.
Yes.
I'm giving you that. Thank you very
Goeiemorgen.
much.
Good morning.
Parlement, ek is juffrou Wilhelmina Visser. Ek is deelsaam,
I am
ek werk
teacher
daar by
Visser.
Cornerstone, Sonstraaltjie.
And I work at Cornerstone in Zonstraal.
Ek aanvaar die bil van die kinderwet.
I support the bill.
Ek het net iets op my hart rondom ons kinders.
However, I do have something on the heart concerning our children.
Ek is werksaam plus minus 20 jaar by Cornerstone Sonstraaltjie. Ons sit met die geval, die ouers kry mos 'n grant vir die kinders.
So I've been working for plus minus 20 years at Cornerstone in Zonstraaltjie, and we know that the parents do get a grant for the children.
En ons is nie net eintlik ons skool hier, baie skole sukkel met die skoolfooie wat die ouers moet aan die skool betaal.
And the problem that not only our school, but so many others surrounding us is struggling with is that the school funds that the parents aren't able to pay.
Vir my is dit net hartseer. Hy kan loop heel jaar skool of hy kan loop 'n kwartaal skool, dan onttrek die ouers die kinders uit die skole uit.
It is sad to me when parents take their children out of school, even if they just go to school for a year or a term.
En die ouers is verantwoordelik om vir daai kind se skoolfonds te betaal. Van die kind is ingeskryf by die skool en die ma of die ouer of die voor het daai vorm geteken. Ons moet elke jaar klomp skoolfonds afskryf rondom die ouers.
It is the parents' responsibility to pay the children's school fees.
Elke jaar skryf ons
And
plus
so
minus
many years we have to just remove a lot of these school fees because the parents aren't able to pay these school fees.
skryf ons klomp skoolfooie af plus minus 25 na 20,000 rand af van die ouers as die commitment of om hy geld te betaal.
So the amount is about 20 to 25,000 rand that we just have to removed because the parents aren't able to cover the amount of the school fees.
Vir my is dit net baie hartseer om daai kind, ons is so hier in Beaufort Wes. Party skole tel die kind op as die ma nie skoolfooi gebetaal het vir die maand nie. Maar by ons skool is ons wil nie die kind benadeel nie.
So we feel strongly that we do not want the child to miss out. Even though the parent aren't able to pay the school fees, we really do not want to let the child miss out, and we do feel sad about this.
So ons stel maar die kind op om skool toe te kom en die ma kom en die ma doen reëlings met die prinsipaal by die skool of die opvoeder van die klas se kind. Van die
So
ouers.
what we do is that we do pick up the child, and then the parents usually just make an arrangement, either the school principal or with the teacher of the child.
En die ouers sê hulle gaan daai tyd en daai tyd vir ons kom betaal, maar hulle daag nooit om te betaal nie.
And so the parents agree to a certain time when they will pay the school fees, but then they never do.
Vanoggend wil ek net sê dis COVID-19, baie ouers het hulle werke verloor rondom COVID-19.
This morning I just want to say that due to COVID-19, so many parents have lost their jobs.
En ons is as 'n gemeenskap voel ek die parlement of moet help vir ons om te akkommodeer die ouers wat so ek wil nie sê nalatig is nie, of om
And
hulle
as a
is nalatig om die skoolfonds te betaal,
As a
maar hulle
community, I would
benadeel hulle
like to
kind
say
self.
that the parliament should help to aid us, especially those parents who aren't able to cover the children's school fees.
En die tweede vraag is, my seun, sy naam is Lorenzo Visser, hy is nou besig met 'n development youth role vir die jong mense in die vakansie, hy is tans besig 3 jaar.
So I have a son called Lorenzo Visser, and he's doing a youth development program here in Beaufort West. It's for the past 3 years.
As vir die seuns, ons wil nou die meisies ook akkommodeer om sokker te speel om vir hulle besig te hou in die vakansie.
And so far he has been pulling in all the boys, and we are really trying to accommodate the girls as well so that they can be kept busy during the holidays and play soccer with.
Maar hy het nou as gevolg van omstandighede wat die ouers nie kan bydra nie, het ons eie sakke equipment gekoop om die kinders besig te hou.
And because the parents aren't able to cover fees, we had to buy equipment from our own pockets.
En ons wil net vra, as daar nie sponsors vir sulke ontwikkelings in ons dorpie.
And so we'd like to ask if there isn't any sponsors for such type of developments within our town.
Baie dankie.
Thank you so much.
Dankie. Now it's time for getting some clarities from the Department of Social Development.
Nou gaan ons nou kyk na die mense van die maatskaplike ontwikkeling. Is daar mense?
And then I've seen that your hand is up.
Ek het gesien jou hand was op. Mag ek asseblief ook iets sê?
Aibu. Oh, you have just arrived, ne? Will you please come?
Kan jy asseblief na vore kom?
Is there anyone who would like to? Ukhona omunye umuntu, because this one will be the last one if.
Is daar nog iemand, want na hierdie gaan dit die laaste wees?
Kukho aba bathunakalayo bethu. Ukuthunakala in Afrikaans kukuthini? Talk man, talk, ukuthunakala, thunakala. Okay, over to you.
Ek gee nou oor aan u.
Baie dankie vir die geleentheid en ekskuus dat ek nie vroeër opgestaan het nie.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I just want to apologize that it didn't come sooner.
Yes, ek werk vir Foundation for Alcohol Related Research. My naam is Christel Botes en ons het net sekere prosedures wat ek moes volg, so ek moes net eers toestemming kry.
So my name is Registrar and there's just few procedures that we need to follow and that is why I'm here now.
Okay, in beginsel met ons nie 'n probleem met die wetgewing nie. Daar is egter 'n paar goedjies wat vir ons 'n bekommernis is. Ons het verskillende
In principle, we
projekte.
do support the bill, but there are a few concerns from our side.
Ek werk spesifiek as projekkoördineerder in Prins Albert, Leeugamka en Klaarstroom. En een van die goeders wat ons persoonlik ervaar en ook in die ander projekte is dat kinders wat gediagnoseer is met FASA of FASD skool vroeg verlaat om die eenvoudige rede dat daar nie genoeg vir hulle ondersteuning is in die skool nie. En
So I am a project manager over 3 towns and something that we've noticed is that children with FASD, they sometimes aren't able to come.
Yeah, they leave school early because there's not enough support for them in school system.
And
okay, die probleem wat ons ervaar is nie noodwendig dat die onderwysers nie die begeerte het om hierdie kinders te help nie. Hulle het nie die kapasiteit nie want hulle het nie die extra hande nie.
the problem that we are facing currently is that the teachers doesn't have the enough capacity to handle all of these kids and there isn't enough hands to support and help as well.
Baie van hierdie kinders verlaat skool vroeg, soos ouderdom van 10 jaar, omdat hulle extra leerprobleme het en nou nie kan byhou by die groep nie. En dan word hulle misbruik deur verskillende goeders want hulle het ook die behoefte om deel te voel, om ingeskakel te voel. So hulle word maklik runners vir dwelmhandelaars, hulle word misbruik vir seksuele wat ook al. En dit is 'n verskriklike groot probleem in ons
And these
omgewing.
children, they sometimes leave the schools at the age of 10 and they, because of the learning disabilities and because they're struggling to keep up with the other children in the school and so because they still want to form part of community and be part, they tend to turn to drugs and sex and things that it has a negative impact on them.
Yeah, I think they want to belong. They want to be part of a group.
Hulle wil graag deel wees van 'n groep.
Ja, en dit is hoekom hulle dan maklik by hierdie goed betrokke word want hier voel dit vir hulle is included. Terwyl
They
hulle
turn to
eintlik
these things
misbruik
because
word.
these things give them a sense of belonging.
So ons wil net graag hê dat hierdie kinders dalk spesifiek ekstra aandag kry en dat daar ook ondersteuningsstelsel sal wees vir hulle ouers want hierdie kinders het ook ouers en volwassenes nodig om ekstra input vir hulle te gee.
And
Baie
so
baie
we
dankie.
just ask for special assistance for these children as well as for the parents as well. Thank you so much.
Good day, everyone.
Take away the mask. You'll
Sorry.
put back when you are done.
Okay. My name is Mongezwa Jacobs. I'm a child and youth care worker and the coordinator of Isibindi Maritzburg. We, as Isibindi Maritzburg, we do actually have a lot of problems when it comes to children. We struggle with children dropping out of school. We struggle with children learning actually something that will help them in future in schools because we have a lot of children who gets to high school and they can't even read. Okay. And the other problem is children, I don't know where this right comes from, but these days children, we can't tell them anything when they are 13 up.
You don't know where the rights are coming from.
No, I just want to clarify this. We know the Bill of Rights is there, but there's this right. For when the child is 13, you can't tell it to go to school or what. The child can decide from 13 not to go to school. That's the problem that we are sitting with. Because now a lot of children from 13 years to 16 years are not going to school anymore. Because yes, from 13 to 16, they don't want to go to school. Because you can't tell them to go to school.
Ngoba awukwazi
If
baxelela
they
uba
don't want to
mabaye
go,
xa bengafuni
they just
ukuya.
don't want to go. There's nothing we can do about it.
Akho nto
As
sikwazi
child and
uyenza
youth
ngaloo
workers,
nto.
and we are struggling with it in our communities.
Into esijongene nayo loyo kwi-community yethu.
And also in counseling.
Yes, and we are also struggling with the fact that the social grants.
Enye
Parents
ingxaki
get the
esijongene
social
nayo
grants for their
yegrant.
kids. But then the social grant cards are at the loan sharks, and when the kids need something, there's no money to buy school shoes, there's no money to buy food.
Enye ingxaki esinayo asinawo namakhadi ngoba siwase koomatshonisa. Ngoku asikwazi ubathengela.
Akacho. She doesn't say so. She is saying, amakhadi, abantwana bayayifumana grant. But after that, the mothers are using the grant for the kids. Loan sharks. Yes. So abantwana, they are suffering because they don't get what they need because
of their
amakhadi
parents.
ako machonisa. It's something that we know now.
Yes.
You get it.
And we need support with that because when we go to the police station, they tell us there's nothing they can do.
Xa siye emapoliseni asixelela uba akho nto anoyenza.
Kaloku anifanelanga uye police station, mele uya kwa social development.
Yes.
Uqinywe ikhadi earlier.
We do report it to social development. And
what are they saying?
No,
Sicele
when they
kwa-social
go there,
development.
the loan sharks want to beat everyone
Xa
up.
besiya
They want their
oomatshonisa
money
bafuna
first.
ubetha wonke umntu.
So that's why we also go to the police station so the police can go
Yinto
with
leyo
us to
ebangela
go
ukuba
and
siye
get the cards.
emapoliseni kuqala.
Okay.
So that's a huge challenge.
No, it's fine. The
Yingxaki ke
members
leyo
of parliament
esijongene
can
nayo.
also assist on that.
There's the challenges we are facing in Maritzburg because Maritzburg is a small place. We don't
Yingxaki
have much for
esijongene
the
nayo leyo
children
apha
to
eMaritzburg.
do. But we are trying our best as child and youth workers to meet the needs of our children that we are working with. But we get these constraints from the parents, and I don't know.
Ingxaki esijongene nayo leyo esiyifumana kubazali.
Thank you very much. We are also
Okay.
discussing, it's interesting what you are raising. It's throughout the nationwide, I will say so. But there is something that can be done out of that. You'll hear from
Siyavumelana
us.
nawe,
I'm
inyani
so
ke
strange that
uyithethayo.
here in Beaufort West, as
Ikhona into
communities, we
esinoyenza
don't
ngalo.
know on what is it to do about that.
Okay,
We will
thank
share
you.
with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Enkosi Siyabonga.
Goeiemôre parlementslede en goeiemôre almal. Baie welkom weer eens in Beaufort West. My naam is Griet Rousseau. Ek stem 100% met
My
die
name is
wil.
Griet Rousseau. Good morning, Beaufort West.
Al wat kindertjies is baie na in my hart.
Children
Ek
are very close to my heart.
Vir 3 jaar is ek plus minus 4,5 jaar is ek besig. Met ECD level 5 is ek nou hierdie jaar besig.
I've been busy with ECDs for 4.5 years now.
Ek is werksaam by Cornerstone Sonstraaltjie.
I work at Cornerstone Sonstraaltjie.
Mensies, daar is groot ewels in ons gemeenskap wat moet aangespreek word. Veral ons klein kindertjies. Want wat gaan nou gebeur en wat die
There are big
seerste op
problems that
my
need to be
hart
addressed for our small children.
is nou vakansie. Wat gebeur nou? Word daar programme uiteengesit vir daai kindertjies van 4, 5, 3, 2?
What happens now during the holidays? Are there programs for these 3, 4 and 5-year-old children?
Ma en pa werk.
Mom and dad are working.
Kindertjies speel alleen in die strate. Daar word geen toesig gehou nie of die toesighouer is besig met haar of haar ander bedrywighede.
Children are playing in the streets and no one is looking after them.
My vraag is aan die parlement. Daar is so baie ECD persone wat opgelei is in Beaufort West.
My question is, there are so many ECD practitioners that are trained in Beaufort West.
Wat by die huise sit wat niks is, want daar is nie werk vir hulle nie. Skole wil nie vir hulle aanvaar nie, waar hulle eerder mense aanstel wat assistente aangestel het, waar hier so 'n klomp ECD mense wat klaar ECD opleiding gekry het aan Beaufort en ek
They're
praat nou
just sitting at home and doing nothing because the schools won't accept them.
en ek praat nou van mense wat vanaf die laat begin 20ste eeu. Ek voel net
I'm talking about people from the 20th century.
Ons wil graag werk aan ons klein kindertjies, maar dan wil ek vir die parlement vra, groot asseblief, spreek daai mensies, help daai mensies by die ECD, sit hulle in plek by skole of by kleuterskole, want dis hoe ons mense
We
kan
have
help
small children and we want to work. Please place them at schools.
wat ons kan assisteer, wat ons werklading, die onderwysers se werklading ook kan verlig en sodoende
We need people as teachers with our workloads.
en sodoende skep u werk vir daai mense wat opleiding het hoe om met kindertjies te werk
In this way, you will also create jobs.
in die gemeenskap. Ek sê vir
In
julle
the
baie
community.
dankie. Waardeer.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Okay, baie dankie. Can we get the social workers to come forward, all of them? When we request social workers quickly come,
Maatskaplike werkers, kom asseblief vorentoe.
all of you,
Almal van julle.
introduce yourselves, tell us your positions and whatever the portfolio.
Vertel ons van julle posisies, van julle portefeuilles.
To the chairperson
Good
and
afternoon.
and all the panel members.
Goeiemiddag,
Okay.
voorsitter en ander
Okay.
raadslede.
All right. Can I request you not to greet us and thank us by coming here? There is someone who's going to thank all of us, and we have been greeted by the mayor and also Marisugers. Dankie.
Ek versoek dat niemand ons groet of bedank nie,
Tell
sodat ons
us
tyd
the
kan spaar.
position and where you are stationed.
Vertel vir ons van jou posisie en waar jy geleë is.
My name is
thank
Kenneth Mazaleni.
My naam is Kenneth Mazaleni.
I'm a social work manager.
Sorry, what?
Social work manager.
Okay, 'n bestuurder vir maatskaplike werk.
I am responsible for the Central Karoo, including Beaufort West.
Ek is verantwoordelik vir die sentrale Karoo insluitend Beaufort Wes.
As of July 2021,
Vanaf Julie 2021.
I am here representing social development
Ek verteenwoordig maatskaplike ontwikkeling
as
Mazaleni, senior
well
manager.
as social workers
en ook maatskaplike werkers
of the department who are here today.
van die departement wat vandag hier is.
Dankie hoor. Don't go away, just sit around. Where are you seated? You still have to answer questions, senior manager.
Moet asseblief nie weggaan nie, bly naby.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. My name is Matlagonolo Sebopela. I'm from the National Department of Social Development.
Ek is van die Nasionale Departement van Maatskaplike Ontwikkeling.
I'm the Acting Chief Director for Children's Legislation and Policy.
Ek is die hoofdirekteur van kinderontwikkeling.
Chief,
Can you please repeat the last?
Acting Chief Director, Children's Legislation and Policy.
So ek werk met wetgewing en beleid.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Nolusindi Sotyanki.
Ek is Nolusindi Sotyanki.
I am a social work policy developer
Ek is 'n maatskaplike wetgewingsontwerper
from DSD Provincial Office.
van die DSD provinsiale kantoor.
Goedemiddag allemaal. Ik is Wilhelmina Adams.
I'm Wilhelmina Adams.
Ik is maatschappelijke toezichthouder in Beaufort West.
I am a social overseer in Beaufort West.
En ik is verantwoordelijk voor die speciale programma.
And I'm responsible for special programs.
Personen met speciale behoeftes.
Especially people with special needs.
Ouder personen.
Elderly.
Substance abuse.
Dwelmmisbruik.
En community development.
And also gemeenskapsontwikkeling.
Baie dank.
Your name again, because you are the key who
Wilhelmina Adams.
Wilhelmina Adams.
Wilhelmina Adams.
William Adams, ne? Okay. Don't go far. You are the one who's relevant to all these questions.
Moenie baie ver gaan nie, jy's baie relevant tot al hierdie vrae.
Goeiemôre.
Goeiemôre,
Ek
Ms.
is Sonia Mans.
I am Sonia Mans.
Werksaam by DSD, verantwoordelik vir kanalisasie.
I am working at DSD and I'm responsible for
Canalization.
For what?
Kanalisasie.
What is that in
the
English?
movement and the regulation of our foster children and child protection in the Central Karoo.
Okay, yo. Canalisir. You also have to answer the foster care grant that is being abused here. Don't go away, don't go away.
Hi, goeiemôre. Ek is Rielda Mentjies, ek is 'n maatskaplike werker hier by die Departement van Maatskaplike Ontwikkeling. Ek is verantwoordelik vir foster care placements, child care investigations.
Ek is mevrou Mentjies en ek werk hier in Beaufort Wes en ek is verantwoordelik vir pleegsorgplasings.
Oh, why are they not fostering kids here?
Oh, we do. We do a lot.
You do?
Yes.
Hier is pleegsorg.
But there's a lot that is loitering around, needs to be fostered.
Maar tog is hier baie rond.
Okay,
Then I will direct my manager.
Don't go away, you'll answer.
Moenie baie ver weg gaan nie.
Goeiemôre almal, ek is Ilse Brits.
Good morning everyone, I'm
social
Ilse
worker by
Brits,
DSD.
social worker at DSD.
En ek is in die foster care unit verantwoordelik vir monitoring services.
Ek is in die
Okay, you are also the
pleegsorgeenheid.
one. You are the culprit.
Ons is verantwoordelik vir monitering.
Good morning all.
Morning.
Goeiemôre almal.
I'm Adarine Wheels, social worker working in Laingsburg Service Delivery Area. And I'm responsible for the child care and protection program.
Ek werk in Laingsburg, ek is verantwoordelik vir die kinderbeskermingsprogram.
Okay. Thank you. Usebenza nantoni lo?
Okay. Greetings, everyone. I'm Bokam Maleka. I'm a graduate social work working for child care and protection in Beaufort West office. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ek is 'n maatskaplike werker, ek werk hier in Beaufort Wes.
Don't go away. Just sit in the middle because you have to answer.
Good morning everyone.
Morning.
I'm Lula Mapisholo. I'm a social worker in
Ek is Lula
Maritzburg.
Mapisholo. Ek is 'n maatskaplike werker in, sorry, the place?
In Maritzburg.
In Maritzburg.
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 It's not like Petersburg and Maritzburg.
Responsible for child care and protection in Maritzburg. I'm one of the social workers. We are 3 social workers.
Ek is verantwoordelik vir kinderbeskerming. Ons is 3 maatskaplike werkers.
Okay, thank you.
Goeiemôre almal, ek is Jana
Goeiemôre,
Pieterse,
Jane.
ek is 'n maatskaplike werker in Maritzburg. Ek is die intake social worker en child care and protection.
Ek werk ook in kinderbeskerming, 'n maatskaplike werker in Maritzburg.
Can I request the social workers to come and sit in the middle? Take their chairs and sit here. Communities need to see you.
Kan die maatskaplike werkers asseblief in die middel sit?
Take
Mense
your
moet julle
chairs
sien.
and bring them here in the middle.
Vat julle stoele middel toe.
Goeiemôre almal.
Don't hide yourself.
Good morning everyone.
My naam is Franklin Jonkers. Ek is 'n maatskaplike werker by Kindersorg Laingsburg en ek doen huidiglik die statutêre afdeling van maatskaplike dienste.
I'm a
Dankie.
social worker in Laingsburg.
Statutory legislation and
department.
kunzima kule kona. It's tough in this corner, this thing of talk. It's really give them tough time, I'm telling you.
Dit is moeilik om 'n tolk te wees.
Okay, now we are done. Thank you very much.
Nou is ons klaar, baie dankie. Hier's kinders hier agter.
Who's there now?
It's children.
Is there a kindergarten school here around? Hey, we are witnessing what you have said, that kids are not going to school
Ons
here.
sien nou in lewende lywe die kinders gaan nie skool toe nie.
Okay, can we then give over to who wants to start?
Kan ons oorgee aan wie ook al wil
Because most
begin?
of the people that are present here are the ones who are dealing exactly with challenges that have been raised here.
Die mense wat hier teenwoordig is, doen juis hierdie uitdagings.
Over to you, meneer.
Oor na u.
As I have said, I've made notes in
Ek het
terms
notas
of
gemaak.
all the speakers that were here,
Ek het al die punte in ag
specifically
geneem.
relating to issues that I'm of the view as the department we are rendering services on.
Ons is besig met dienste as 'n departement om hierdie
However,
kwessies
if
aan
there
te
might
spreek.
be some aspects that I might have left out,
Daar is dalk aspekte wat ek uitgelos
I will
het.
ask the panel to compliment me.
Ek
with
gaan
some
die
of
paneel
those.
vra om my in te
I will
lig.
ask the panel to compliment me.
Kaloku, hayibo.
I've made some notes from myself.
Mamelani community. And
Paneel gaan my
participants.
aanvul.
We are members of parliament, eh?
Ons is lede van die parlement.
Yes. Now, these are social development officials.
Hierdie is maatskaplike ontwikkelingsamptenare.
We are deployed by communities, eh?
Ons word deur gemeenskappe afgevaardig.
They nominated us by saying we nominate Nonko Simvana to represent us as the community
Hulle
in
het ons
parliament.
benoem om julle te verteenwoordig.
But these ones wrote applications forms. And on those application form,
Op die aansoekvorms,
and in that application form, they said, I hereby beg to apply for a position.
ek pleit, ek wil aansoek doen vir 'n posisie staan op hierdie
Then therefore,
aansoekvorms.
it means, Tina, we are the watchdogs to them.
Dit beteken ons is die waghonde oor hulle.
We have come to see whether are they doing the work that they promised that they will do.
Ons kom kyk of hulle die werk doen wat hulle beloof het om te doen.
So no one of us is going to answer any question except you.
Geen van ons gaan die vrae beantwoord nie, julle gaan.
But can I request you not to answer all the questions? This is your staff. Delegate questions to
Kan ek
them.
versoek dat u delegeer en nie al die vrae
Then
self
when you
beantwoord nie.
come and get into those that are left behind as the
Moenie die
leader.
ander
yeah.
mense agterlaat nie.
Thank you very much.
Dankie.
That's how it works.
Okay, then I will give. I will-
Delegate them, call them by names, Barney. This
Delegeer.
question is for you.
Okay, colleagues. I don't know whether you have made notes.
Look at the TV then.
Yes,
the TV is
okay.
still on.
Okay, Chairperson, I have made notes on all the people that came here
Voorsitter, ek het notas
to
oor alles
express
gemaak.
themselves on some of the challenges.
Yeah, but give them chance also.
So I also thought I wanted, because as I have,
Delegate your work, man.
but can you allow me to respond to those issues?
All of
Please,
them.
Ek wil eers
all
self
of them.
reageer.
Yes,
All of them.
all of them, Chairperson.
Oh.
Okay, I will specific focus on issues that are relating to social development.
Ons fokus
Yes,
is op
I have been
kwessies van
making notes.
maatskaplike ontwikkeling.
I think Ms. Aria Low raised a very significant point.
Mevrou Aria Lou het 'n belangrike
It's a
punt
very
uitgelig.
important point of children who are on the street in the
Kinders
town
op straat
of Beaufort West.
in Beaufort West.
It's a very serious problem.
Dit
at
is 'n
this
groot
stage.
probleem.
And I can just say it is a problem that I feel we need to be proactive in dealing with that particular problem.
Ek voel
In
ons
terms
moet
of the
proaktief
following.
wees om hierdie probleem aan te spreek.
Currently, mostly, those are children that are not school going.
Die probleem is meestal kinders wat nie skool toe gaan nie.
And currently, it's a multi-sectoral approach that is needed in a form of a forum consisting of various stakeholders that needs to be in place
What is
Ons
it
het
that you are
verskeie
doing with
sektore
them?
nodig om
Can
hierdie
you be
aan te
patient,
spreek.
please, Chairperson?
I can't be patient.
I'm
told
responding.
you. Mamela Tata, Mamela, I told you, delegate the questions and you said you want to
Delegeer asseblief die vrae.
Tell us what is it that you are doing with the kids that are loitering. Don't tell us that there are kids that are, we know, they've been
Ons wil
told. In
weet
fact,
wat doen julle aan die
they
saak
told
van
us
kinders
about
wat
that.
rondstaan.
You know? Okay. I'll give you time, but I won't be patient. I just want to tell you
Yes.
up front.
Ek sal vir jou 'n bietjie tyd gee.
Children that we are working with, Chairperson,
Die kinders waarmee
those
ons
that we
werk.
have got files, we are rendering intervention services to those children. Unfortunately, the current children who are in town, who are loitering around, are not children who are in our caseloads.
Ons is besig om in te gryp, maar hierdie
Based on
kinders in die
that,
strate
that
is
is
nie
why
by
I was
ons.
saying, based on that, it's a stakeholder forum that is currently needed, especially to
Dis 'n
look
forum
at
van belanghebbendes wat benodig
ensuring
word.
that as various stakeholders consisting of the local municipality,
Die plaaslike munisipaliteit is een van hierdie belanghebbendes.
consisting of SEPs, very important,
Die polisie ook.
consisting of the business
Can you hold
sector.
it there? Can you hold it there? A member wants to ask something.
Een van die raadslede wil iets vra.
If I just may ask you,
Yes.
you're saying that the children that are currently in Beaufort West, that are not in school and that are of school-going age, are not part of your current caseload. Based on what are you saying that? Has the department done an analysis of the current children on the street in order for you to say that?
U
Has
noem
an
dat die kinders
analysis
wat
been done?
tans op straat is nie deel is van u werkslading nie.
Yes, currently I will agree in terms of the analysis. Currently,
I am asking, sir, if you, I'm asking the question because
My
it is
vraag
true what
is-
the community has said.
Yes.
We travel through Beaufort West, ne?
yes.
Ons het
I
hier
just
Beaufort
want
West
to know-
gery.
I just want to know that, and it's not for any reason, it is just so that I know that you are definitive when you say that it's based on information that has actually been gathered. Has such an exercise been done so that you can say
Is u
that
punt
it is
gebaseer
not-
op navorsing en
Okay. Can I
inligting?
just ask some of my colleagues just to come forward, Mona?
Ek gaan my kollegas vra om vorentoe te kom.
Hold on there. The other member also wants to.
Daar's nog 'n lid wat iets wil vra.
You can sit down. Yeah, okay, don't tell me on how to chair the meeting. Thank you very much. We will do that. Okay, Ted.
Thank you very much. I heard you talking about the forums.
Baie dankie, u het gepraat oor die forums.
What took you so long to establish the forum? You could see that the community doesn't have any
Hoekom het dit so
information.
lank gevat om die forum te bevestig?
And one
begin?
of the community members said that they don't have any information. So why didn't you establish the
Die
forum?
gemeenskapslede het nie inligting nie.
I mean, it's like you waited for the parliament to come here.
Dis
Then
asof
you
jy
are
wag vir
talking,
die parlement om dit te doen.
Okay.
it's not on.
Thank you very much. Don't answer now, ne? But it's a food for thought.
Dis net iets om aan te dink.
And then you can also at least get into that. Over to you, ma'am.
Oor na u toe.
Goed, van die Beaufort West kant af
Come
kan
a little bit closer. Thank you.
van die Beaufort West kant af kan ek eerlik aan die
I'm from ESD Beaufort West.
aan die vloer sê dat ons baie counselling sessions het met die kinders wat op straat is, soos meneer Masaleni gesê het.
We have several
ons
counseling
verantwoordelikheid-
sessions with the children on the streets.
Wait for the talk, yeah?
Wat ons verantwoordelikheid is, nee, ook die volwassenes op straat.
It's our responsibility also with the adults on the street.
Die Beaufort West en Badisa is gesamentlik verantwoordelik vir Beaufort West.
DSD en
dis-
Madisa is together responsible for Beaufort West.
So daar is sekere areas wat die verantwoordelikheid is van DSD Beaufort West en daar is sekere areas wat die verantwoordelikheid is van Badisa.
Some areas are the responsibility of DSD and some are of Madisa.
Die kind op straat het baie toegeneem met die feit dat die skole sekere dae skool het en ander dae nie skool
There are
het nie.
several more children on the streets because some days they are school and some days they aren't.
En die ouers daarenteen stuur eintlik net die kinders straat toe om te gaan bedel. En soos iemand genoem het in die gehoor,
The parents send the children to streets to ask for food and money.
die rede daarvoor is dat die geld is by die loan sharks en die kinderondersteuningstoelaag en die older page en die disability grant. En ek kan hier sê these officials gaan so ver, ons het nog gister weer na die loan sharks toe gegaan oor geld
The money
wat
is
hulle
at the
het.
loan sharks, also the child support grants.
Dan die meeste van die kinders op straat gebruik glue.
The children on the streets use glue.
Ons probleem met dit is die rehabilitasiesentrums is altyd vol, daar's altyd 'n
The
waglys.
rehabilitation centers are full, there's always a waiting
En
list.
Beaufort West het nie 'n rehabilitasiesentrum nie.
Beaufort West does not have a rehabilitation center.
En ook dan doen ons drug testing vir die kinders en die substance abuse coördinator lewer dienste in die gesinne.
We drug test the children and the substance abuse officers also visits the families.
So ja, ons is miskien nog nie daar waar ons perfek is nie, maar die dienste word die probleme en word aangespreek en
We are not
prosesse-
perfect, but the problems are being addressed.
En die prosesse en die procedures word gevorm. Ons verwys ook kinders na die CYCC's, die Child and Youth
Children are
Care
referred to
Centers.
CYCC. The problems are being addressed. We are following procedure.
Die challenge there is the long waiting list.
Die uitdaging is die waglys.
So dit is betreffende die kind op straat. Dan ons doen
With
ons
regards
ook
to the child on the street, that is what that was about.
family preservation services to those children on street.
Die familiepreservasiedienste vir die kinders op straat.
Met familiekonferensies en familiepanele.
There are family conferences and panels.
Maar die kind op straat het uitdagende gedragsprobleme. En
But the
meeste van
child on
hulle
the street has challenges with behavioral problems.
meeste van hulle kan nie lees en skryf nie en
Most of them can't read and write.
En ons kinders het ook nie Beaufort het ook nie 'n skill of school, 'n vaardigheidsskool nie.
Beaufort West does not have a school of skills.
En meeste van die rede is hoekom die kind vroeg die skool verlaat is juis omdat hulle nie kan lees en skryf nie en die skool
The reason for children leaving school is because they cannot read and write.
Die skool daarenteen het die stelsel dat hulle die kinders net aanpas.
The school has the system that they just pass the children on.
En ek dank u.
I thank you.
Is there anything that you think also needs to be said? Ikhona na into ocinga into ba all the other members apha emva kwakho.
Okay.
You can
Colleagues-
give them an opportunity.
Yes, colleagues, if there's anyone of you wants to say something, if there's anyone of you wants to add.
Vir enige van my kollegas wat graag iets wil byvoeg.
Okay. Ungafakelela ke wena
Okay.
ke anything that you
Yes, thank you very much, Mona.
Baie dankie.
But I must say we had 2 meetings already with the local municipality.
Ons het al reeds 2 vergaderings gehad
The whole
met die
aim is
munisipaliteit hier by
to
ons.
see how can we work around a drop-in center, especially for the children who are mostly roaming around in town.
Ons wil graag kyk na 'n inloopsentrum vir hierdie kinders wat op die straat rondloop.
So that we can ensure we work towards a kind of a daycare center where we can look for funding, assist them with compliance
Ons
to norms
werk op
and standards,
'n dagsorgsentrum
and
vir hierdie
also to
kinders
look
as ook
for
fondse vir hierdie sentrum.
a proper building structure that we can have in place,
Ons kyk dan ook na 'n infrastruktuur vir
and
hierdie.
also to bring the business sector on so that we can be able to also employ and provide job opportunities
Ons wil dan ook die besigheidssektor
to
hier
some of
inkry
the
sodat
adults
daar
who can
werksgeleenthede
continuously
gegee
monitor
kan word
some
aan
of
die
these
mense
children on the
in die
streets.
gemeenskap.
However, those meetings, unfortunately, are going to proceed because now there were elections. So those were some of the things that were prioritized. But now that they are completed, it's a very serious priority program that we need to follow up and resume
maar
on.
ons kan nou voortgaan met daardie vergaderings.
Okay. You can come.
U kan maar kom.
About children turning 13 and like they've got a right not to go to school when they are turning 13.
Daar was 'n ouer wat gepraat het oor kinders wanneer hulle 13 jaar oud word dat hulle nog nie dat hulle kan besluit om nie meer skool toe te gaan nie.
I just want to say there is no right like that,
Ek wil net doen dat daar geen sulke wet is nie.
and that 13 is still a compulsory school going age.
En as jy 13 is, moet jy nog steeds skool toe gaan.
And then what I want to say is also if we, it is the issue of the children maybe on the streets.
Dan is daar nou ook die kwessie van die kinders op straat.
Yeah, I am aware of the challenge.
Ek is bewus van hierdie uitdaging.
Yeah, what I can say to the parents
Wat ek wel vir die ouers kan sê
from the side of the education,
van die opvoeding se kant af.
as long as the child is of a school going age,
Solank as wat die kind 'n skoolgaande ouderdom is,
if there is a school that say they can't take the child
as daar 'n skool is wat sê hierdie skool kan hierdie kind vat nie
or refuse to take the child,
of selfs weier om die kind in te neem,
and then that is against the policy.
dan is dit teen die wet.
So the challenge that we are having partly with the kids on the street,
So die uitdaging waarmee ons tans sit met die kinders op straat
it would be because the child, for instance, refused to come to school.
kan wees omdat hierdie kind dan weier om skool toe te kom.
As a school social worker,
So as 'n skoolmaatskaplike werker
I've been in situations where the parent would ask me
was ek in situasies waar die ouer vir my aangevra het
if I can wake up early in the morning and go to their house
of ek vroeg kan opstaan in die oggend en na die ouers se plek toe kan kom
to assist them to get the child to school.
om die ouer te help om die kind by die skool uit te kry.
What it plainly says is the issue of discipline,
Wat dit dan nou op neerkom is dat dit gaan oor dissipline
and because of some parenting skills that went wrong somewhere,
en dat die ouerskapvaardighede wat verlore geraak het.
we do have school social workers at school.
So daar is skoolmaatskaplike werkers by die skool.
My colleague is the school social worker here in Beaufort. If you can just stand so that the parents
Kan
can.
asseblief staan sodat die mense jou kan sien.
Yeah. So if any parent has got any issue with a child that wants to be at school,
So as enige ouer enige kwessie het met 'n kind wat wel skool toe wil kom,
we are ready to support as we are doing that currently.
ons is reg om vir julle te ondersteun.
Thank you. I just
Baie
wanted to say
dankie.
that.
There was an issue of loan sharks.
Daar was 'n kwessie van die loan sharks.
Money used for the kids, the grant, and the cards are with the loan sharks. I know you are afraid to address that one because you will be faced by that loan shark. I heard that you talked with the parliamentarians in the meeting about my name. You are afraid to address that.
Weet dat u bietjie bang is om oor die saak
Is
van die
there-
loan sharks te praat,
Is
veral met
there
die
any
parlement.
social worker that can
Is daar
come
enige
up
maatskaplike
on
werker
how
wat
to deal with the situation
vorentoe
of
kom?
the cards that are in the loan sharks?
En dan kan met ons deel hoe ons dan met hierdie kwessie kan werk.
No one.
Is hier
Okay.
niemand nie.
Can I give over to? Okay. Thank you very much for your boldness.
Baie dankie.
Don't go to loan sharks and tell them that so and so talked about you.
Moet nou nie vir loan sharks gaan vertel wie nou gepraat het nie.
My colleague from the Isibindi already highlighted, from Isibindi, Child and Youth Co-worker, already highlighted that in Maritzburg we have such issues.
My kollega het alreeds hierdie kwessie beklemtoon.
I'm not scared to say I take them on.
En ek is nie bang om te sê nie, maar ek vat hulle aan.
What is protecting me is the law that is put in place for us as social workers to make sure that our children are benefiting from the services that the government is putting in
So
place.
iets wat my beskerm is die wet vir ons as maatskaplike werkers.
I cannot work alone.
En ek kan nie alleen werk nie.
I'm working with SASSA.
Ek werk tans met
Ek
SASSA
werk saam met die polisie ook.
en ek werk ook met die polisie.
My colleagues are there also to support me.
My kollegas is ook daar om te ondersteun.
It's just that we must hold hands together as a community to ensure that our children are protected and they benefit from the services that government is made available for
En die
them.
ding is net dat ons as 'n gemeenskap moet hande saamvat en toesien dat die kinders voordeel trek uit hierdie voordele wat die regering vir ons kinders gee.
We have tried to make a project out of it in Maritzburg.
In Maritzburg het ons probeer om 'n projek hier uit te maak.
So in order to ensure that there is an administrator for those grants that are misused by the parents.
Om te verseker dat daar is 'n klerk is vir die toelaag wat dan nou gebruik word deur die ouers.
It was already in place with Mr.
Dit was al reeds in plek gestel met meneer Norman.
And we identified an NGO in the community that can ensure that they administer the grants that are misused.
En ons het ook al reeds 'n NGO geïdentifiseer wat ons kan help.
Our family members also in our communities are also there and identified as people who can ensure that grants are used for the means that for the basic needs of the children.
Daar is dan ook familielede binne die gemeenskap wat aangestel is om seker te maak dat hierdie toelaag gebruik word vir die kinders en waarvoor hulle daar is.
So I'm again saying and appealing to the community of Beaufort West and Maritzburg, the whole Central Karoo, we must hold hands. We must not let our social workers stand alone in this fight of the loan sharks.
So ek pleit dus met die gemeenskap en dis ook die hele Karoo dat ons saam staan, dat ons nie hierdie dinge toelaat nie, maar ook saam staan met die maatskaplike werkers, dat die maatskaplike werkers nie alleen staan nie.
Because we know they say we are interfering with their livelihood, of which it's not supposed to be, because at the end of the day, the people are living in poverty while they are progressing.
En die ding is, ons probeer nie probleme veroorsaak nie, ons probeer help, want ons weet daar is mense wat tans in armoede leef.
Thank you so much.
Baie dankie.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone who would like to say something?
Is daar enigiemand wat graag iets wil sê?
One of the, I think it was the teacher was talking about the disabilities with the children in schools.
Die onderwyser het gepraat van die spesiale behoeftes wat kinders het in skool.
Okay, maybe I need to just talk to him, but I want to say the following.
Ek moet eintlik met hom praat, maar ek gaan ook nou die volgende noem.
That from the side of education, we've got a specialized education accessibility project.
So aan die opvoedingse kant is daar 'n spesiale projek.
So that is looking at accessibility like ramps and so on, like in the bathrooms for children with disabilities.
Wat dan nou kyk vir toeganklikheid in binne badkamers vir kinders met gestremdhede.
In the Karoo area,
Hier binne in die Karoo area.
that has been done already in Leochamka,
Hierdie is nou al reeds gedoen in Gangwa,
Laingsburg,
in Laingsburg,
Maritzburg, Beaufort West.
Beaufort West.
Those are the schools specifically I'm referring to,
En hier is nou die spesifieke skole na wie ek verwys.
including Oudtshoorn.
En dan ook Oudtshoorn.
So maybe we just need to hear, it's because maybe of the speed to get to his school, but we are working on that.
So ons werk tans met dit.
Thank you.
Baie dankie.
Dankie wo, Mahlonono. Do you have anything in relation on what they said in terms of this act? And remember, there was someone who they don't know where this act is coming from and the rights and.
Nou, daar was iemand wat ook gepraat het oor die wet en hulle weet nie waarvan af hierdie wette vandaan kom nie.
Over to you.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Yes, I would like to address that issue of costing and funding and implementation of the Children's Act.
Baie dankie voorsitter. So ek gaan nou oor die volgende praat oor die kostes en dan ook die finansiering van die kinderwet.
Yes, we have costed the Children's Amendment Bill, and once it becomes an act,
Ja, ons het nou al reeds die wet begin finansier.
we'll have the final cost implications and the implementation partners with roles and responsibilities.
En ons werk ook tans aan mense wat nou bykom met verskillende rolle en verantwoordelikhede.
And the accompanying costs. So it will be negotiations between National Treasury, Provincial Treasury, funders on how to implement the Children's Amendment
So
Act
daar gaan
once
nou
it's
verskillende
approved.
onderhandelinge wees met verskillende tesouriere om dan nou hierdie finansiering en implementering in plek te stel.
The other issue that was raised was that the Children's Amendment Bill does not address prevention and early intervention programs. I need to clarify that this is an amendment. We have a principal act that has a specific chapter, the whole chapter dealing with prevention and early intervention programs and services.
Die volgende kwessie waarop ek dan ook wil fokus, die voorbehoeding en intervensieprogramme.
It's one program that we are promoting, and we do have programs in the department, family preservation programs.
So ons beklemtoon die familiepreservasieprogram.
Honorable Chair, I was touched by the colleague who raised an issue of fetal alcohol syndrome.
So ek was aangeraak deur die kollega wat die kwessie uitgelig het oor die fetale alkoholsindroom.
As a department, and especially for this district, our deputy minister, this is close to her heart, this issue of fetal alcohol syndrome.
En ook is hierdie kwessie baie na aan haar hart.
We need social workers and child and youth care workers to have programs, awareness and education programs to teach mothers, whether pregnant or not pregnant, to teach them about the effects of fetal alcohol syndrome.
So daar moet opleiding gedoen word vir vrouens wat nou verwag of nog nie verwag nie, sodat hulle kan weet wat is die impak van hierdie syndroom. Want hierdie is 'n kwessie wat regtig baie na aan die minister se hart lê.
And we have students who do research. I'm just wondering whether these children who don't fit in the mainstream education program, whether we need to investigate what are the drivers, the issues, the root cause.
Ons moet dan nou ook kyk na wat veroorsaak dan nou hierdie dinge, hierdie syndroom, hierdie ding hier in die gemeenskap.
Yes, I would urge students to research that, and as a department, we have a population and research program. We need to research this issue and respond to the root causes, not respond to the child who's already there, who's not fitting in and who's struggling. We need to address issues
En
at
as
a
'n
prevention
departement het
level.
ons 'n navorsingsafdeling, so daar is studente wat dan kan navorsing doen. En wat ons dan ook kan doen van ons kant af is nie net om die uitkomste te bespreek van die kind wat nou al reeds gebore is nie, maar ook die oorsake van hierdie syndroom.
The last issue, Honorable Chair, there was a parent who mentioned that there is a child who has been abused and has been sitting with that issue for quite a long time.
Dan nog iets wat ek dan ook wil uitlig is dat iemand wat genoem het dat daar is 'n kind wat gemishandel was en dan vir 'n hele ruk met hierdie traumatiese ervaring moes sit.
We do have a toll-free number, a DSD-1. Anybody who witnesses abuse, it can be gender-based violence, child abuse, any kind of abuse.
Ons by DSD het 'n tolvrye nommer wat u kan skakel indien u enige tipe mishandeling raak sien. So maak gebruik van daardie tolvrye nommer.
This number, we got an international award for this GBV program as a country and as a department. The number is working, and they will respond, and they do offer counseling and support to victims.
So ons is vereer vir hierdie nommer en weet dat die nommer werk en daar word dan ook terapie aangebied vir hierdie kinders of mense wat dan mishandel is. So maak gebruik van hierdie nommer.
The GBV hotline is 0800.
Die nommer is 0800
42
42
84
84
24. It's a 24-hour hotline.
24 en dit is jy kan enige tyd van die dag kan jy hierdie nommer skakel.
0800 42 8424.
So hier herhaal ek net weer die nommers vir indien iemand wil afskryf. So dit is 0800 42 8424.
And we have a partner organization called Childline South Africa.
En dan nog 'n organisasie wat saam met ons staan is Childline South Africa.
Their toll-free number is 0800
En hulle tolvrye nommer as jy wil afskryf is 0800
555
555
55.
55.
Yes, 55s.
So dis 55. So die nommer, ek gaan nou net herhaal, is 0800 en dan 55.
And lastly, Honorable Chair, those who are aware of SASSA card misuse should report the misuse to SASSA or DSD, the local social worker.
En dan ook diegene as u weet van SASSA kaart wat dan nou misbruik word, moet julle dan asseblief na SASSA toe gaan en dit aanspreek en dit 'n aanklag te maak oor hierdie misbruikte kaart.
And those who are aware of loan sharks who keep SASSA cards, they can phone anonymously to SASSA so that SASSA can investigate and confiscate all those SASSA cards.
So indien u ook weet van loan sharks en bewus is daarvan, dan kan u dan ook anoniem bel vir SASSA en dan sodat hulle dan hier 'n ondersoek kan doen en dan hierdie kaarte kan afneem.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank
Baie
you
dankie,
very much.
voorsitter.
I think you have covered me. You have covered me in this one of the loan sharks.
Ek dink ons het die loan shark kwessie aangespreek.
Because that also needs the social workers.
Dit het die maatskaplike werkers nodig.
They must have a tangible proof of the misuse of the manifest.
Hulle moet werklike bewyse hê dat die geld misbruik
They
word.
can be assisted by the community around.
Die gemeenskap moet hulle help.
Because you can't be all over as Jesus, you know.
Ons kan nie soos Jesus heeltyd oral wees nie.
But if people that are staying around can see that and report to the social worker, then the social worker has to do the investigation.
Mense in die
Whether is
omgewing moet
this-
dit rapporteer aan die maatskaplike werkers
Whether
sodat
is
hulle
this-
ondersoek kan instel.
Is this happening or not? And then report it to USASA, the
Dit moet-
social workers. And then
Dit moet
that
gerapporteer word
card-
aan SASSA en maatskaplike werkers.
That card needs to be closed immediately.
Die kaart moet toegemaak word en weggeneem word.
Umashonisa and the loan shark will just keep the cards that are empty.
Dan hou hulle die kaarte maar hulle kan niks daarmee doen nie.
If she or he refuses to give that particular person back their cards.
As hulle weier om vir daardie spesifieke persoon die
So
kaart
there
terug te
is no
gee.
way that you can say that you don't know on what to do about that.
So jy kan nie sê jy weet niks daarvan nie.
Okay, can I also, there was that issue Mahlonono, of saying children were not consulted about this bill. Can you?
Daar was die kwessie oor die kinders wat nie gekonsulteer is hieroor nie.
Because I know for a fact that they were consulted in many times.
Ek weet vir 'n feit dit het baie gebeur.
And just also Mahlonono inform them on how we involve kids or children in public meetings of this nature.
Lig asseblief ook die publiek in hoe ons kinders betrek in hierdie publieke vergaderings.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Chair.
Dankie eerbare voorsitter.
This came from Molo Songololo.
Dit kom van Molo Songololo.
And it's one organization that we work closely with. It's a child representative organization. They represent children.
Ons werk goed saam met hulle. Hulle verteenwoordig kinders.
And in the Western Cape, this is the only province that has a child commissioner. Other provinces don't have child commissioner. The child
Dit is die enigste
commissioner
provinsie die Weskaap wat hierdie organisasie het.
represents the interests of children, and she is part of
Hulle
us. She
verteenwoordig
works
die
with
beste
us.
belange van kinders en hulle werk saam met ons.
I need to indicate that we started reviewing the Children's Act in 2011, and over the years,
Ons het in
we
2011
had
die kinderwet
dialogues
begin
with
hersien.
children.
face the TV so that
Oh.
it captures you correctly.
Yes,
Now
we-
I can see that it will be your first time to be in the TV.
We had dialogues with children in their communities.
Ons het gesprekke met kinders in die gemeenskap gevoer.
From National DSD, we come out of Pretoria and we go to the local communities to
Van
have
DSD
dialogues
kom ons
with
van
children.
Pretoria af na die plaaslike gemeenskappe.
Involving children in legislation review is not easy.
Om kinders te betrek in wetgewing hersiening is nie maklik nie.
We dialogue with them at their level.
Ons moet met hulle praat op hulle vlak.
That's the department side. And I need to confirm that Parliament also had sessions with children.
Dit kom van ons kant af en ek moet ook bevestig die parlement het ook sessies met die kinders gehad.
And it was my first experience working in this process that a portfolio committee would have more than one session with
Dit
children.
was my eerste ervaring om hiermee te werk dat die kinders meer as een sessie gehad het.
Children have been consulted. The thing is that we don't consult children during school hours.
Die
We
kinders is
consult them
betrek, maar ons kan nie in skoolure met hulle praat nie.
after school, during weekends, during school holidays.
Dit gebeur na skool, oor naweke en tydens skoolvakansie.
In all the provinces, we have child ambassadors.
Ons het kinderambassadeurs in al die provinsies.
They represent children in their provinces and they get mandates from their constituencies in the provinces.
Hulle verteenwoordig kinders in hulle respektiewe provinsies.
Just now in January, we are planning a national workshop for children to
Ons beplan 'n
consult them
nasionale
on
werkswinkel
the
vir
draft
kinders.
regulations that we are preparing. That would be supporting the Children's Amendment Bill. We are consulting children. And if we are lacking somewhere, I think we can be advised on how we can improve. But we do consult children.
Ons verwelkom graag advies oor hoe ons kan verbeter, maar ons praat wel met die kinders en ons betrek hulle.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Dankie eerbare voorsitter.
Thank you, Acting Chief Director. Can I give over to honorable members that would like to have a bite on these issues that have been said here?
Ek gee graag oor aan al die ander raadslede in geval hulle iets oor hierdie kwessies wil sê.
Can I again start from the left-hand side?
Ons begin weer hier aan die linkerkant.
Who would like to have the bite? Honorable Aris?
Eerbare
And
Aries kan
yourself?
begin.
Yeah, you can pull that one. Is it on?
Baie dankie voorsitter.
Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Ek dink wanneer mense en ek dink ons almal veral ons wat in die Weskaap is, ons gaan baie deur Beaufort wees.
I think especially those of us in the Western Cape, we often visit Beaufort West.
Ja, en dit is werklik pynlik om te sien die straatkinders.
It's painful to see these children on the streets.
Maar ek dink die grootste probleem wat in Beaufort West is,
I think the biggest problem in Beaufort West
is dat daar's geen ekonomiese aktiwiteite binne in Beaufort West nie.
that there are no economical activities.
En ek dink dit is die grootste bydrae.
I think that is the biggest contribution.
Dit is die grootste bydrae wat lei tot hierdie mense wat so op en af in die strate en die kinders wat in die strate bedel.
This is the contribution that leads to these problems of children begging in the streets.
Want ek het dit al ervaar die moment as jou motor stop, dan is daar omtrent 3 of 4 kinders of selfs groot mense.
I've experienced it myself. The moment you stop your car, there are 3 children around you and sometimes even adults.
Ja, en is regtig hartseer.
It's truly sad.
Die ander kwessie wat ek wil aanspreek is natuurlik die fasiliteite vir disabled children.
The other problem is the facilities for disabled children.
Alhoewel die meneer gesê het dat hulle probeer die skole so disabled moontlik friendly maak.
It has been said that schools are working to make themselves more disabled friendly.
Is daar 'n behoefte dat daar spesifieke skole moet wees, nie vir disabled children sowel as ECDs?
But there should be specific schools for disabled children and ECDs.
Ek dink met die migration van die ECDs na Department of Education is dit een van die belangrikste aspekte wat moet aangespreek
During this
word.
migration process, this is one of the most important aspects that needs to be addressed.
Ja, maar ook belangrik is natuurlik dat die onderwysers moet opgelei word om met hierdie tipe kinders te werk.
What's also important is that teachers need to be trained to work with these children.
Shelters for victims.
There should be shelters for victims.
GBV is baie hoog op die agenda van ons land.
GBV is very high up in the agenda of our country.
En ons kan dit nie ligtelik vat nie.
We cannot take it lightly.
Want ons kinders word blootgestel aan hierdie GBV, dit wat gebeur in die huise.
Because our children are exposed to GBV in
En
their
ons kinders
household.
groei op met dit wat hulle sien en hulle aanvaar, dat dit is aanvaarbaar, dit moet so wees.
Children grow up with this problem and then they see it and they see it as acceptable.
En ons het nodig om dit daarna te kyk.
That seriously needs to be looked at.
Ouers het nodig om verantwoordelikheid te aanvaar vir hulle kinders.
Parents need to take responsibility for their children.
Ons kan nie sit met 'n situasie waar die drop-out rate in skole is so hoog.
You cannot sit with a situation where the dropout rate of schools is so high.
Julle is die ouers,
You are the parents.
die kinders is die kinders.
Your children are your children.
Ons is jammer dat hier so min vaders is. Vaders het nodig om hulle plek, hulle regmatige plek in hulle huishoudings op te neem.
The dad should react appropriately in the household.
Ja, asseblief ouers, kyk na julle kinders,
Please parents, look after your children.
want ons kinders gaan verlore vir die samelewing.
Our children are lost to society.
Ek weet die ander groot challenge wat hier is dat daar is baie dwelms soos wat hulle gesê het, die kinders snyf glue.
Another big problem is the drug problem, like children sniffing glue.
Die grootste challenge waarmee ons sit is ek weet dat op Nelspoort is daar 'n drug rehabilitation center.
I know in Nelspruit there is a drug
Maar
rehabilitation
ons het
center.
nodig om, as jy kyk na 'n plek soos Beaufort Wes waar werkloosheid hoog is,
But looking at a place like Beaufort
dan
West,
vra jouself af die ouers en meeste van die drug rehabilitation centers is privaat centers.
most drug rehabilitation centers are private centers.
As mense werkloos is, if people are unemployed,
Unemployment is a big problem.
waar gaan die ouers geld kry vir private drug rehabilitation centers te betaal om hulle kinders heen te stuur?
Where are these parents going to get money to send their children to private drug rehabilitation centers?
There's a need for public rehabilitation centers.
There's a need for public rehabilitation centers.
Kom laat ons verantwoordelikheid vat vir ons gemeenskappe.
We need to take responsibility for our communities.
En mense, die klein wat jy doen, maak 'n verskil.
Every bit helps.
Baie dankie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Greetings again, everyone.
Dankie voorsitter. Goeiemôre weer eens aan almal.
My colleague has partially covered me.
My kollega het reeds gedeeltelik my punte gedek.
Seemingly, the challenge here is that of learners dropping out of school.
Die grootste uitdaging blyk dat leerders uit skole uitgaan, die skool verlaat.
And it should really be a concern that for instance, a 10-year-old can refuse going to school.
Dit is 'n groot kommer en probleem dat 'n 10-jarige kan weier om skool toe te gaan.
We should ask ourselves, why is that happening? Because there's no 10-year-old who would refuse going to school.
Ons moet onsself aanvra hoekom dit gebeur, want daar kan nie 10-jariges wees wat weier om skool toe te gaan nie.
It clearly states that it starts somewhere. There's a reason why the child does not want to go to school.
Daar is 'n rede hoekom die kind nie skool toe wil gaan nie, dit begin iewers anders.
Another thing that we should not be doing as communities is normalizing things that are not normal.
Wat ons ook as 'n gemeenskap moet doen is om nie dinge te normaliseer wat nie normaal is nie.
It cannot be normal that young people or kids are outside of the system of schools and street kids, and it's something that's normal because in the future we will not have, there won't be any future leaders because these kids would not even reach my age.
Dit kan nie normaal wees dat kinders nie in die skoolstelsel is en dat hulle op strate is, want dan gaan hulle ouer word en... Sorry, just the last part again?
Sorry?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part for me?
It cannot be normal that school kids or young children can't be at school because they are the future.
Hulle is die toekomstige leiers van ons land.
What we need to do as communities is come up together and assist government.
As die gemeenskap moet ons saamkom en die regering bystaan.
We are here today coming with a bill that seeks to protect the rights of a child.
Ons kom hier met die wet wat graag kinders se regte wil beskerm.
But that would not assist if at home that child is not protected.
Maar ons kan nie help as die kind by die huis nie beskerm word nie.
They say charity begins at home.
Hulle sê dit begin by die huis, liefdadigheid.
Parents should be parents to kids.
Ouers moet ouers vir hulle kinders wees.
We cry of SASSA cards being at Mashonisas, loan sharks.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
We cry of SASSA cards being at loan sharks.
Dis vir ons tragies dat die SASSA kaarte by die loan sharks is.
Those are some of the things that our kids see.
Ons kinders sien hierdie dinge.
If my child would see me and being with Abu Mashonisa up and down, this child clearly grows up knowing that there's no importance of school. Let me just do the wrong things because my mom is also forming part of the wrong things in society.
Indien my eie kind dit sien, sal hulle ook besef of dink dat skool nie belangrik is nie.
So we need to assist government as community members. We heard how the teacher spoke here. He spoke as a parent. He spoke out of love because they try their level best to make sure that kids are protected, kids are taught. But if a child comes from a home where there's no imbeg, or I don't know how to say it, when a child comes from a home where there's no respect, then it's going to be a challenge for the teachers and the social workers at schools.
Ons moet die regering bystaan as ouers en as onderwysers met baie liefde in ons huise en daar moet 'n respek wees vir die kinders.
We need to protect our kids because it is going to be sad seeing children growing to be nothing.
Ons moet ons kinders beskerm want ons wil nie sien hoe hulle opgroei en niks word nie.
Another thing that we need to do as community where we have problems of dropouts is to always acknowledge, appreciate and celebrate the small people that are doing well in our communities so that it inspires the others.
Ons moet altyd die mense bedank wat help en hulle erken om hierdie kinders wat die skool verlaat aan te spreek.
They have to have people they look up to in our communities so that they understand the importance of school as kids. Thank
Hulle
you.
moet verstaan hoe belangrik skool is en hulle moet rolmodelle hê om na op te kyk.
Ek wil eerstens sê vir die gemeenskap van Beaufort Wes baie dankie dat julle uitgekom het.
Firstly, I would like to thank the community of Beaufort West for coming out today.
Die probleme in die Karoo,
The problems in the Karoo,
sosiale probleme in die Karoo is regtig op 'n krisisvlak.
and the social problems there, it's really at the crisis level.
En dit is hoekom dit vir my ook baie ek baie bly is dat baie van my kollegas wat saam met my hier sit vandag 'n venster kry in wat ons gemeenskappe mee sukkel in die Karoo.
And this is why I'm glad that my colleagues here with me are able to get a lens of what is happening in the community.
In the Karoo.
In the Karoo.
I just want to say the issue that I raised while our senior manager for social development was speaking
Sorry, can you please repeat?
The issue that I raised, the question on research, whether the children out on the street, the issue that I raised earlier
Die kwessie wat ek vroeër aangeraak het
with the senior social manager,
met die senior sosiale bestuurder
around research and why children, or whether the children are in the system or out of the system.
aangaande navorsing en of hulle binne die stelsel of buite die stelsel is.
Gaan daaroor dat
It goes about
presies wat die social worker hier uitgelê het.
exactly what the social worker talked about today.
Die kinders is in die stelsel,
The children are in the system,
maar die kinders is nog steeds op straat.
yet they are still on the street.
So ons sosiale intervensies
So our social interventions
of just paying grants is not working in our communities.
om net toelaag te betaal werk glad nie in die gemeenskap nie.
We have to integrate services,
Ons moet dienste integreer.
and we have to integrate it as communities together with government.
En hierdie moet met gemeenskappe en die regering saam gedoen word.
And the reason I say that is because there is no government that can solve the issues that are in our communities at the moment.
En hoekom ek dit noem is omdat daar geen regering op sy eie al hierdie kwessies kan doen nie.
There's no government in the world.
Daar is geen regering op die wêreld wat al hierdie kwessies kan oplos nie.
And it is very important for us as politicians that are sitting here in front and people in the community for us to come to the realization that we have to work together to deal with the crises that is facing our children.
Dis belangrik vir ons almal om te besef dat ons moet almal saamkom om saam hierdie ewels te bespreek en oplossings te vind.
It was very interesting to me, the gentleman that came from Nelspoort.
Die meneer wat van Nelspoort gekom het, iets wat van omtrent u was baie interessant.
When he said that, please don't come into our communities with BMWs.
Toe hy genoem het dat ons nie in moet kom in die gemeenskappe met BMW's nie.
Our problems are not just the corrupt politician.
En ons probleme is nie net die korrupsie nie.
Our problems are that we are not working together at the issues that are at hand.
Ons probleem is dat ons nie met hierdie probleme hier werk nie.
And that's why the loan sharks can take the card.
En dis hoekom ons sien dat loan sharks die SASSA kaarte neem.
Nee. That's why loan sharks can take the cards.
En dis hoekom loan sharks die kaarte kan neem.
And they can keep it.
En hulle hou dit.
And they can go to the payouts at the post office.
En hulle kan na die poskantoor toe gaan om dit
with their BMW.
Met daardie BMW.
And they can wait for them to get the money and they stand there and our community see it.
En hulle wag daar vir geld en die mense in die gemeenskap sien dit raak.
And they stand there as if in a convoy.
En hulle staan daar.
And our older people are shuffling to loan sharks to pay them.
En ons ou mense sukkel met loan sharks om vir hulle te betaal.
So I want to say to you as a community, this is our problems. It's our problems,
So
and we cannot afford.
Gemeenskap sê dat dit is ons probleem en ons kan dit nie ignoreer nie.
And we cannot afford to point to each other. It's you, it's you, it's you. We can't afford it. In the Karoo, there is only one YCC.
As 'n gemeenskap en in die Karoo kan ons nie vinger wys nie.
Near everywhere, but there's only one YCC, and it is in Oudtshoorn. It serves Lugamka, it serves Prince Albert, it serves everywhere. There's only one.
Daar is dit een hulp, maar dit is te min.
You know, so we have much more to do here. Thank you for coming out. We have heard you. The programs, I just want to ask to social development, there was a cry here by the community for the holidays that are coming up and for those children. Please let us talk together and just see what holiday programs we can work at in order to address them. And to our social workers, thank you for working so hard as you are. Thank you.
Iets wat uitgelig is dat daar wel iets in die vakansie kan gedoen word. So kom ons praat na die ruk sodat ons kan sien wat gedoen kan word in die gemeenskap en baie dankie dan ook aan al die maatskaplike werkers.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I will
Baie
not
dankie
be long.
voorsitter. Ek sal nie baie lank wees nie.
Chairperson, I'd just like to add to Molo Songololo on the issue of why children aren't here. I think
Ek wil graag byvoeg oor die kwessie oor hoekom kinders nie hier is nie.
just to add to what the acting chief director said, and it's part of this bill, it's also to protect their identity, because as you know, we have recordings here, we have cameras here, so we did meet with them in a closed door forum at the start of these public hearings.
So dit is om hulle identiteit te beskerm en juis omdat hierdie als op rekord geneem word, maar daar is 'n kleiner kamer waar ons wel met hulle kan vergader.
Then, Chairperson, we are members of Parliament here, but I think it's important for the community to know that part of our committee, as members, we are grandmothers and they are mothers and we are sisters and we are daughters, and therefore we can sit and talk about these issues with you for days at length because we are passionate about it and we are invested in your issues.
Weet dat ons, alhoewel ons parlementsmense is, ons op 'n sekere vlak ook op julle vlak is, want ons is ook ouers, ons is ook susters en broers en ons sien hierdie dinge raak en ons is passievol oor al hierdie kwessies wat julle aanbring en ons kan vir ure lank aan een oor al hierdie kwessies praat.
However, the purpose of this public hearings is to listen to you, and we will have our opportunity when we go back to debate as committee members, to debate in the Parliament, and then you can get to see us on TV talking about this bill.
So die doel van vandag is net om na julle te luister. Ons gaan 'n kans hê waar ons ook gaan praat en dan kan julle op televisie dan kyk wat ons te sê het.
So lastly, Chairperson, to the community, this is our second last public hearing. We have travelled throughout of the 9 provinces and we will be taking all of these submissions, written, oral, and sitting with it and going through it in detail and in length to make sure that we do our responsibility as members in getting this bill right. Thank you to everybody for attending and to the officials for the excellent work you do. Thank you very much.
So ons het al deur al die 9 provinsies gegaan en ons is bewus van al hierdie versoeke, of jy dit nou mondelings genoem het en of jy dit ingestuur het. So ons gaan dit analiseer en ons gaan terugkom na dit toe. Baie dankie.
Thank you, Chair.
Baie dankie, voorsitter.
I think my colleagues have covered most of the comments I was going to be able to make.
My collega's het aangeraak aan meeste van die kommentaar wat ek ook sou sê.
And everything that has been discussed has touched me, as colleagues have said.
Alles wat bespreek was het my ook aangeraak, soos die collega's ook genoem het.
But there's one comment that has been really been in at the back of my mind, and it was mentioned here this morning.
Daar is een kommentaar wat genoem was vanoggend en ek kan nie ophou daaraan dink nie.
And it's for me a food for thought, and the reason why one would say that they are a public representative.
En dit is regtig iets om aan te dink en dan ook die rede om te sê dat daar is 'n publieke verteenwoordiger.
Someone said something about it being very good for us to go around the country, do public hearings, come up with laws and pass them in Parliament. But if those laws cannot be implemented, we are as good as have not done anything.
Iemand het genoem dat as daar nie implementering van hierdie verskillende wetgewings is nie, dan is ons werk so te sê niks nie. Dan dit beteken wat ons doen niks nie. So implementering is dis belangrik.
And that speaks to the funding of the laws that we make.
En dan praat ons dan ook van die befondsing van hierdie wetgewings.
And Chairperson, I'm reminded of the Social Assistance Amendment Act now.
So voorsitter, ek dink nou ook aan die maatskaplike wetgewing
that we have not been able to implement.
Wat ons nou tot tans nog nie kon implementeer nie.
Because of funding.
En dit is nou ook as gevolg van befondsing.
So I'm taking that as a huge wake-up call.
So dit is nou vir my 'n groot alarm. Ek neem kennis hiervan.
Thank you so much.
Baie dankie.
Okay, thank you, honorable members. I would like to only touch this issue of child-headed families. You know, social workers won't be able to know those child-headed families until and unless they are being told by the community. It's the one that are closer to those child families. They need to report that to them. And then it's their responsibility to go to those child-headed families and make an assessment and check on what is it exactly that they can do about that. So I just don't understand when communities are not exactly sure on when and how to report the cases to the social workers.
Ek verstaan dus nie hoekom daar onsekerheid is in die gemeenskap van die mense waar en hoe ons dan nou die probleme kan aanspreek nie en rapporteer nie.
We will hear it better when you say, I've reported such a case to social worker so and so, and she or he didn't give me any positive response. That is what Tina we would like to hear from you. But I haven't had anyone who said on such and such a date or month I reported a case to such and such a social worker and I didn't get joy.
Wat ons graag wou gehoor het uit hierdie gehoor is dat van julle hierdie kwessies gerapporteer het en dan geen resultate teruggekry het nie en dan dit na ons toe gebring het.
We once more appeal to communities to report these cases forward.
Ons pleit is met die gemeenskap om tog hierdie kwessies te rapporteer.
I'm happy to hear that you also go to police, because even the police, if they don't take forward an issue that has been reported, report that issue to relevant people. We do have our numbers. You do have people, station commanders' numbers. So as to report that particular police station, but you must be specific and know the name, know the date or month, time of that particular shift that we have reported to.
Weet dan ook dat julle ook aan die polisie kan rapporteer en indien julle nie by hulle hulp kan kry nie, ook dan relevante persone en wanneer jy ook al hierdie klagtes kom doen, wees spesifiek en bring gedetailleerde klagte oor wie en wat dit is.
Otherwise, we want to thank you, all the participants, the VVIPs in particular.
So verder wil ons dit baie dankie sê vir al die mees belangrike persone hier teenwoordig.
VVIPs, what are VVIPs?
Baie belangrike mense.
Okay. Yes. Yes, you are baie belangrijk.
Julle is baie belangrik.
Now the meeting is I think coming to an end.
So ek dink die vergadering kom nou tot 'n einde.
But I would love to ask any volunteer from you to come and do a benediction for us.
Maar ek wil baie graag 'n vrywilliger uit die gehoor uit vra om net hierdie vergadering vir ons af te sluit.
Is there anyone?
Is daar enigiemand?
Is it Pastor Agnes, the one who's coming? Okay.
Kom ons sluit ons oor. Ek is pastoor van wijk van Leinsburg en is 'n voorreg om vanmiddag hier die vergadering af te sluit in gebed. Vader, dit is in die wonderlike naam van Jesus, Here, vanmiddag dank ek U vir die voorreg geleentheid, Here, wat ek vanmiddag het om die aangesig van U te nader. Ek wil vanmiddag baie dankie sê, Here, ons was by hierdie vergadering en ek wil vanmiddag bid, Here, dat U dit wat U uitgegaan het vanmiddag sal seën. Dankie, Here, vir ons lede van die parlement wat vanmiddag saam met ons kon gewees het. En ek wil vanmiddag bid, Here, dat ons vanmiddag nie net hoorders sal wees van hierdie vergadering nie, Here, maar dat ons ook daders sal wees, wanneer ons in ons gemeenskappe terug is, Here, dat ons sal doen, Here, wat ons gehoor het, wat ons hier gepraat dit, Here, in die naam van Jesus. Ek wil vanmiddag dankie sê, Here, hier is vanmiddag ons maatskaplike werksters. Here, baie keer word dit nie raak gesien wat hulle doen nie, maar ek wil bid, Here, dat U hulle gaan sien, hulle werke vanmiddag sal sien. Here, ons as gemeenskaplede, wil ek vanmiddag bid, Here, dat U ons wonderbaarlik sal sien, soos wat ons vanmiddag weer eers op reis is, Here, wil ek vanmiddag bid, Here, dat U ons sal beskerm in die holte van die hand, Here. Ek kom vanmiddag teen elke skielike doodongeluk, ek sny dit vanmiddag af in die naam van Jesus, en ek wil vanmiddag baie dankie sê, dat U ons veilig by ons bestemming sal bring, in die naam van Jesus met eer en danksegging. Amen en amen.
Something is gonna be happening, and don't please close your eyes. Something is going to be done to you. Meeting adjourned.